We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/sports. openphone.com/SPORTS.
Score big by saving lives with Stanford Blood Center. Donate blood between September 1st through the 30th and be automatically entered for a chance to win 2 club-level seats to the ultimate Sunday night showdown, San Francisco versus Atlanta at Levi Stadium. It's your chance to make a difference and experience the game like never before from premium seats with an unbeatable view. Every donation helps patients in need and brings you one step closer to the end zone. Learn more at stanfordbloodcenter.org/touchdown.
Looking to get out there and feel the in your hair? Chevy EVs have you covered. Like the Blazer EV with bold style that's sure to you away. And with Silverado EV, towing is a breeze with the capability to hitch up and tow with ease. And Equinox EV helps you keep moving along like with confidence. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Game day just got an upgrade. Whether you're gearing up or winding down, Westfield Valley Fair is your go-to spot. Hit the latest gear at Shoe Palace. Grab bold bites at Shake Shack and Eataly. And catch the action on big screens at King's Fish House. From premium shopping to epic eats and entertainment, make every football Sunday legendary. Westfield Valley Fair, where football fans fuel up in style.
Losing weight shouldn't be a struggle, and with Jumpstart MD, it doesn't have to be. Start today for just $99 when you join Jumpstart MD's medically supervised weight loss program today. Licensed clinicians create personalized plans, including GLP-1 medications. No insurance? No problem. Jumpstart MD has options to meet your individual needs. With 13 Bay Area locations and online visits, expert support is always within reach. Call 855-JUMPSTART or visit jumpstartmd.com to start transforming your health today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eloquist.com or call 1-855-ELOQUIS.
Clouds and sun for San Jose going up to 83.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
It's time to wake on up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
With a nice cup of Joe.
What's up, Joe, bro?
Featuring Joe Spadoni.
He's an Italian.
And Joe, the Butcher Boy Shasky.
I am slippery.
Oh! The best part of waking up is morning roast in your cup.
It is the Morning Roast, man, on 95.7 The Game.
To get it in. Looking for Chechi. Catches, guarded by McBride with one at the buzzer. Oh, off the back rim. No good, and that's the season. 75-74. It was a good look. Well contested, but still a good shot from Chechi, and that'll do it for the Valkyries' inaugural season. They get a nice round of applause, and congrats to the Minnesota Lynx. They're off to the semifinals where they will await the winner of New York and Phoenix.
That's an incredible call from Kevin Dana, who's been having nothing but incredible calls. And what was an incredible season for the Golden State Valkyries, and obviously that was heard right here on 95.7 The Game. And tough way to go out, Joe. Good morning to you, Sam, Carter. Shout out Evan Giddings for filling in for me yesterday. During a brief hiatus. 75-74 the final. Minnesota moves on. And the Valks, God, I thought it was good too when I was watching it. I kept watching the replay. Cecilia Zanda Lassini. I got it. Don't worry. Paisan. But that's a tough way to end the season. But you know what? I'm so damn proud of this whole region. I'm so damn proud of San Jose for being right there on the spot. SAP Center showing up and showing out yesterday. Joe Lacob getting into it. And there's so much to get into when it comes to this. We'll get into the 49ers. We'll get into the Giants. We'll get into, Kaminga crisis, all of that. But you know what? The feel-good story of the Bay was and has been the Valkyries, and they deserve their moment and shine this morning, Joe. Good morning.
I know. It was a heck of a season for them, and it just is unfortunate that Kyle Shanahan had to make an appearance with a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter of a postseason game for the Valkyries.
Stop.
That was a joke. You got to laugh a little. Got to laugh through the pain.
Stop.
It's true.
But yeah, no, I was glued into that game, and I'm thinking, man, they're going to pull this out. They're going to be able to figure this one out. And what a crazy crowd they had going. Did you see some of the purple sequin jackets, like dress coats that people had in the crowd? They were panning to it the entire time. It was incredible.
It's been like that all season, quite frankly, whether it's at Chase Center, and obviously would have loved for it to be at Chase Center, but they're an expansion team. You had stuff booked prior years in advance, and it didn't work out that way. But you know what? What a pivot that they had, and the fans showing up and showing out like they did, traveling from all over. And that's really what the Valkyries season has been about, Joe. It's the entire Bay Area rallying around this team. And to your point, the outfits, the costumes, whatever you want to call them, they've been showing out all season long. It's pretty incredible, this whole team. And I love the color scheme. I love, Sharky was down there too, hanging out with Violet. It was a great time with the mascots. It was a great time. Pods was obviously there. Great interviews all season long with Willard Dibs talking about the Valks, him being the number one fan, obviously. And before you know it, we're going to actually be watching Brandon Pajemski in another month. So now we're moving forward to the Warriors season. But it sucks that it had to end this way, Joe. But this is how true fandom is made. Through the downs, through the heartbreak. This is really how it is. Like, you have to go through these trials and tribulations to really appreciate when you actually win the big one, right? And yes, would it have been nice if they go on this miracle run and win it, and they would have known anything else but winning? That's great. And they've set the bar very high. But this is how fandom is shaped, through the sadness and heartbreak.
Well, and look, if you're looking to the future, for those that are really locked in on the personnel and whatnot, they obviously, they're going to have to hit the free agency hard over the next couple of years. And you would think they'd be able to recruit someone. Size needs to be their number one. That means their number one target I would be looking for size.
Size and athleticism.
Kind of like the Warriors.
Yeah, I was going to say, interesting. Maybe they can get Kaminga.
Joe Lacob as a type.
Yeah, maybe Kaminga can stay in the Bay. We'll see. Yeah.
No, but it was a heck of a year, and it was great to see. And I thought that the WNBA as a whole kind of captured our hearts yesterday in the afternoon if you're just a sports fan. No, it's the truth, man. YouTube TV,
I know.
flipping around. I'm like, oh, I'll watch the Liberty game, even though it was a very lopsided affair. And I said this to you guys in the group thread, and I'll bring this up again. There's two things that I took away from the playoffs over basically a small week here of the WNBA. First one, how stupid was it for the WNBA powers that be to start their playoffs on a football Sunday?
Ridiculous.
No, it was like one of the dumbest things they could have done.
Literally no one was watching anything except for us here locally. How am I supposed to watch the Niners and the Valkyries at the same time? How? It's ridiculous.
There's a reason why all of the other sports do the best that they can to avoid having things conflict with football. And for the WNBA to not realize, like, even though there's Monday Night Football as a standalone, I would have started my playoffs at 4 o'clock Monday, and I would have gone Monday and Wednesday, and I would have had it like that, and I would have owned the week. It feels like all those game ones, for the most part, got kind of, buried into football, and you forget about it. The other big takeaway that I have, 3-game series are awesome. No, they really are. The immediacy, the sense of urgency, the desperation right off the rip is extremely important in sports. I think the two problems with the NBA and Major League Baseball is that the regular seasons take way too long. And then in the NBA, we get right into a 7-game series. No, like, if I'm the NBA, I would be looking at this and I would say, all right, maybe we don't give these guys a whole week off. Maybe there's a bye. I don't know. I don't know how we view it, but I would have 3-game series. Those playing games, like, the one-offs, those are cool. To me, the 3-game series, 5-game series are underutilized. Not every series needs to be a 7-game series. I would give teams an advantage. Those that have the higher seed get all 3 games at home.
Okay. I don't hate that.
All 3 games at home.
I hated the single wild card game. I'm going to be honest. I know a lot of people love that when it was baseball. Yeah, for baseball. And I get what you're talking about here. Just in general, I'm just talking about playoff seeding. Yeah. I hated that. Obviously, football is going to be football. It's going to be single elimination. Not going to do series. But we're talking basketball and baseball. I love the 3 games too. I'm totally in with you. It creates urgency. It's fun. It's fast. It's quick. It's do or die. And it's right that literally after the first game's over. Okay, must win now for the other team that just lost. And you could feel the urgency yesterday in the Bay. And there's the Lynx. Let's just talk about the adversity that the Valkyries have fought through all season, Joe. Not only did they lose their best player, Kayla Thornton, to ACL injury. That sucked.
Yeah.
All-star. She was incredible. You lost your best player. But you got the most improved player right after that, Veronica Burton, stepping up the way she did. Coach Natalie Nakase, Coach of the Year, stepping up and just being a beacon of hope and knowing what to say and just dominating the podium game. She's been incredible all season long. This team, it's their first year, and who knows? It's funny how sports works. Maybe they, make the playoffs this year, they stay healthy next year, and then they don't. You never know. Like these things, they change very fast and very quickly. You can't bank on making the playoffs every single season because you just don't know. But the fact that they were able to overcome so much adversity this, early into their inception of a franchise, if you will, really speaks volumes to just the organization top to bottom. And it starts with the owner, right? Joe Lacob. And what did he say? He had like a 5-year guarantee. Within the first 5 years, we're bringing a title here. It's only Joe Lacob, right? Joey Lightyears. We love him. And that's the confidence that we love. But you know what? The proof's in the pudding. He's took an expansion franchise to just on the brink of pushing the champs. Like, they're going to be the back-to-back champs, right? I think they are. The Minnesota Lynx are stacked. And, they erased that, 15-point deficit, fourth quarter. It sucks
I know.
how
I thought
it ended.
Jimmy G was quarterbacking.
Oh, was A-Rod on the court side yesterday? I didn't see him. Did they pan to him at all?
No, I was wondering too. I don't know.
I was hoping that he was sitting next to Joey Lightyears, but alas. But again, like Minnesota Lynx are really good. Like this is the equivalent of, I don't know, take an expansion franchise in baseball and they got the Dodgers in round 1 and they push him to the brink. Like that's the equivalent if we're doing that. It was an incredible season.
Well, I find sports right now, it just feels like whether it's the WNBA, whether we're talking about Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, college football, golf even, every single sport needs to look at the way everything is consumed. We just saw a boxing fight. What platform was it on?
Netflix. Yeah.
Now, did they start the fight late in the evening for probably too late for most people on the East Coast? Probably. What did the fight started around 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast?
It felt like it, yeah.
Okay. We had a major fight that we've been anticipating for 5 years on Netflix.
Yeah.
Our habits are changing. And I think that now these leagues not understanding that the calendar needs to adjust to our viewing habits is ridiculous. Like, I think the WNBA is proving right now that their little window at the end of August into September and into October, it's a good window for them, right? If I was the NBA, not that I'm trying to eat into the WNBA calendar, but the fact that basketball is starting up here and you're going to have multiple months, 3 months overlap with football, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nobody cares at this point in the season. Nobody cares. This is not basketball season for the consumer. Would you agree with me?
I would agree. And also, you're trying to market to everyone here. And that's why I think the Valkyries are a great case study in this, that it can work. It is a legit model. And again, there's no Caitlin Clark. There was no household name that was on this team. There was no Paige Beckers. There was no, whoever's the next big hotshot, Juju Watkins. Like, there was no, household name. If you were a diehard, you knew some of them, the Veronica Burton, maybe Kayla Thornton, who ended up being an all-star. Sure. And Natalie Nakase obviously having a cup of coffee with the Aces and the Clippers. Great. But no one knew any of these people. And yet they rallied around them. And yet they sold out every single home game. It works. We just want it to work for the entire league, Joe. It's great that it worked here. And I think that's what you're getting at. If you want to really promote this league as a whole, it can't just be Caitlin Clark. No. Caitlin Clark. It can't be.
But you also have to acknowledge that at any given time, whatever sport you're at, you're going to have teams at the top of the bell curve.
Oh, yeah.
The Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens. And you're also going to have people at the bottom of the bell curve. You're going to have your Jacksonvilles. Every league has them.
Well, I love how you just said that, though, because it's fascinating. You said that. You just said the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills. Just think about those markets. Are those legit top 5 markets?
Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City? No,
they're not.
The NFL is so unique.
It is. That's what I'm getting at, though. Who are the Golden State Warriors before they went on that run? They're a dumpster fire.
They were a dumpster fire, but I would say if you're talking market size,
correct. They
were a large market size.
So they did have.
But look who's at the top of the sport right now in basketball.
Exactly,
Oklahoma City,
please. Which is again, you could pull anyone in Oklahoma, and they're going to ask, who do you care more about, the Thunder or the Sooners football team?
Yes, to your point, Joe, too.
Or quite frankly, their softball team for the women's side, which is also incredible.
Which is incredible.
So that's just, again.
Can I ask you a question regarding basketball? Because it is starting up here, and I know we've talked a lot of Kuminga. I heard Steiny was in his bag yesterday regarding Kuminga.
I heard he was very upset that the Brock Purdy news had his pivot.
Well, dude, he's having his Jordan moment right now. He's in the zone talking Kuminga.
We've been talking Kuminga for 5 months.
5 months, 3 years.
God.
3 years.
And he's upset that he had to pivot for 20 minutes to talk about
this guy is such a
Brock Purdy. When we're talking about an actual season of football, I love you, Steiny. I do.
Joe, I am a believer in fan width, okay? I only have so much fan width I can dedicate to any team at any given time.
Did you come up with that, by the way, the fan width? Yes. Is that a Shasky original?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Where do you think I stole it from?
I don't know. It just sounds like it's.
If somebody had it before me, I will back off.
No, it's fine.
I've been saying it for 2 years now?
I love the phrase. I'm just asking if it was a Shasky original. That's fine.
So, I ask you guys sincerely, right now is what? What is going on right now in most people's mind? It's football.
Oh, it's tonight who is it? We got Bills, Dolphins. We're already locked in. Who's your fantasy? Do I have anyone playing in fantasy tonight? Okay, I don't. I do. Who am I going to play him? Am I going to start him? Oh, yeah, we're already locked in.
Am I a big baseball fan?
You're huge.
Yeah. And look, I'm doing fall ball right now with a lot of little clinics and things like that. And so I love baseball. But there's a part of me that's baseball, you got to wrap this season up before football comes. Because once football comes, fans have dedicated the majority of their TV watching experience to football. And I go fan with, but it's also the reality of complicated lives. Most people that are listening to me right now, they've got work. Maybe they've got family life. Maybe they've got children. Maybe they've got a wife or a significant other. Maybe they've got other people in their life that are depending on them. It could be aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents that need their time. You only have so much time you can dedicate to sitting down on the couch and watching, right? We all agree, right? And so, like, I look at baseball going through what they're going through right now. It's like, we have got another 2 weeks of baseball, then a month-long postseason, which I love. The postseason is great. They had to wrap it up before football started. I'm talking about their regular season. The NBA is going to start right now in a week and a half, 2 weeks. They're going to report to camp. We are months away from Christmas. What are they doing? And this goes back to leadership. You're talking about Joe Lacob.
Yeah.
The leadership of the Golden State Valkyries. I have been on this, and I will continue to be on this. The worst commissioner in sports currently right now is Adam Silver. And I look at Adam Silver, and he had a golden opportunity to make adjustments to his calendar and to his league and to be able to appease. Who are his partners right now? It's not television networks, streaming partners. You're not behooving to the old business model of television. Why Adam Silver did not start his NBA season after COVID, when he had the opportunity to reset everything and start on Christmas Day, is one of the dumbest business decisions I've ever seen. You could tell me, Joe, they're making a ton of money when it comes to the streaming. Yeah, and they'll make the same amount of money, except rate better and be in our hearts as sports fans and be way more culturally relevant if they start their season on Christmas Day.
Shout out to those watching on YouTube, brought to you by First North Car Credit Union.
Thinking from the head.
Guys, am I wrong?
Thank you, Priest. For a low rate auto loan, apply online or just ask for First North Car financing at the dealer. No, I'll say this. The totality of his tenure compared to other, commissioners, it's Manfred, really. I think he might have overlapped Bud Selig while Bud Selig was still there, but it's been Manfred and then Roger Goodell. If you want to go Gary Bettman for NHL, that's fine. I'm not for this argument. We'll just use the big three. Goodell is clearly the king, just because the NFL is. I know there's a moment in time where we all hated Roger Goodell. There was. I just don't think that's there anymore.
Joe,
I think it's fun to just say, boo, boo, we hate this guy. And I get it. There was a stretch there of the domestic violence policies and all that.
No doubt.
It was a horrible look. Horrible.
Joe, if you just say NFL, you know who they're partnered with?
Everyone.
Budweiser, yep. Coca-Cola,
everyone.
Apple Plus, Amazon Prime, YouTube, every big brand in America.
AT&T.
They're partnered with. Yeah. Are they not?
Every single one. And then if they're not, the teams are individually.
Exactly.
So in a way, they are.
The NFL is the best in terms of, right now, they're number one.
I do think there's a debate between Rob Manfred and Adam Silver, just because of.
But what is Rob?
Just when Manfred talks, I just want to punch the guy in the face.
But will you give him this?
I'm sorry. I'm out on him. The guy.
Will you give him this, Rob Manfred? And I'm not a huge Rob Manfred fan by any stretch. He has made adjustments to the fabric of the game that refused to change for 50 years.
Sure.
Those improvements have been good.
I guess locally, I'm a little more jaded just with everything that went on with the A's, John Fisher, and all of that. And then
that is totally
the blue
fair.
ribbon panel that Bud Selig had and bestowed. That whole thing has made me just so anti-Manfred. But to your point, if we're just going stock up, stock down, the stock is higher with Manfred than Adam Silver. But stock up still on the Golden State Valkyries. I want to hear from people that went to the game, that experienced Valkyries, all of that.
If
the season's
went to
over.
One game this year.
Exactly.
How is it different from any of the other sporting events you've maybe attended?
888-957-9570 is the number. The Valkyrie season has come to an end, but a lot to be excited about and happy about for the future. That is a fact. Is there a lot to be happy about with the San Francisco Giants right now? We'll get into that because they got a big win yesterday. Their postseason hopes still alive, just barely, but they're alive. We'll get into that. And by the way, we welcome you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk, righteously brewed in San Francisco. Shout out Anakin Skywalker right there. I'll reveal the guest list on the other side. And that's what's coming up, brought to you by Moderna.
mNEXSpike, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna, is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's mnexspike.com.
One of the greatest bands in rock history, The Who, present The Song Is Over, the North American Farewell Tour.
See Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, The Who, live in the Bay Area, performing at Shoreline Amphitheater September 21st. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The Who, for the very last time. This song is over. For more, visit thewho.com.
Hey, it's Bonte. Just back from my fall visit to River Islands where the schools are back in session. There are 3 top-rated K through 8th grade academies within the community, and construction just started on Academy number 4. River Islands High School students are busy in the classroom and on the sports fields of their phenomenal new campus. I don't remember high school ever looking this good. Elsewhere in Northern California's most successful lifestyle community, they're putting the final touches on another park. This one with the playground, workout areas, tennis, a splash pad, and a picnic area. The fall weather is still perfect for launching a kayak or a paddleboard off your own deck and head over to the Boathouse restaurant for lunch or dinner. More than 4,000 households have already made the move to River Islands. Today, with 15 neighborhoods priced from the $600,000 to over $1 million, there's more variety in home styles and sizes than ever before. In fact, the only thing missing at River Islands is you. Start your tour today at riverislands.com. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands?
Let's go! You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-2027. That's 800-275-2027.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
HEAs offered in certain states by Unlock Home Equity Solutions, Inc. NMLS 2657081. See NMLSConsumerAccess.org for full details, including terms and conditions. Visit unlock.com/legal. Actor portrayal.
Lisa, thanks for having me over. Your new kitchen is gorgeous. How'd you find the money to do it?
We worked with this great company, Unlock. They help you unlock the future value of your home to get the cash you need today.
So it's a home equity loan?
No, it's not a loan at all. There's no monthly payments and no interest charges ever. And you can use the money however you want. We were able to redo our kitchen and pay off our credit card debt.
Wow, Jack and I could really use this to finally pay off our old student loan debt. How do I get started?
It's easy. Just give him a call or go to unlock.com.
Call 1-888-780-6854 to unlock the value in your home and get up to $500,000 in cash with no monthly payments and no interest ever. Use the money for home improvements, to pay off debt, or to add to your retirement fund. It's up to you. Visit unlock.com. That's unlock.com. Or call 1-888-780-6854 now to get started.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye, hear ye! Make way for the Baron of Brioche, the Sultan of Sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah,
Hi?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days October 7th and 8th.
Sponsored by Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today, and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS today, or donate online at carsforkids.com. Remember, that's cars with a K.
Bay Area, what's going on? It's your boy Chewy from 102 Jams. Listen to me every day, 3 to 7 p.m. But right now, let's get right back to the morning roast with my guys, Joe Spadoni and Joe Shasky, right here on 95.7 The Game. You fired up, Shasky?
I am fired up. And I don't know what basketball's doing right now in terms of trying to start so soon. It's bizarre to me.
You want them to just we were talking about who needs to take a playoff right now? NBA basketball needs to take a playoff and wait a little bit.
Well, there are things that they've done very well. Like going back to NBC is going to be awesome, right? But we've seen already, like, they're going to transfer this Inside the NBA to ESPN. Guys, we've already seen the Red Zone in a couple of weeks. They've ruined the presentation by adding some red stuff on the sides of the television. ESPN's a part of that, and they're already infiltrating with commercials. And you see by how they're breaking down the games and how they put the schedule out prior, because they knew they were going to partner with ESPN at some point. Like 9 morning games and 3 afternoon games. What are we doing? Spread these things out a little better.
What are we doing? We're talking about the Golden State Valkyries. We're talking about the WNBA, the schedule, NBA schedule upon us. Jonathan Kuminga. I didn't hear that drop. That must have been a new one since I've been gone. Kuminga is buns.
Oh, that was yesterday. We had a 14-year-old call in.
That was a 14-year-old?
Yeah, and this is what he said when we were talking about Kuminga.
Kuminga is buns. Hell no.
Oh my. See, it was a 14-year-old boy. I thought that was like a young woman. So there you go. The more you know right there. Lay off my guy Kuminga, all right? Guy just wants to get paid, all right? It's not his fault. We have to talk about him all the time, all right? It is what it is. When Jimmy Butler is going out of his way to check and see what's going on, now you've got my attention, by the way. And I do want to get to that at some point, Joe. I know you guys talked about it yesterday. Shout out Evan Giddings for filling in for me. But this is the Jimmy Butler cycle. Just letting you know, people. It's like, oh, everything's all nice. I got a new contract. It's all good. And now he's shoehorning himself into the conversation. Hey, what's going on? Should I be concerned? I don't know. Like, it's all going to work out. All right. Whether it's the qualifying offer, whether it's, the contract, they'll get Al Horford, they'll get DeAnthony Melton, they'll get Gary Payton. Kuminga will be here, and then it's time to go. Well, and then once the ball is on the floor, Joe, we could move forward and actually talk about the game of basketball, because that's what I want to talk about as the Valkyrie season just came to an end. 75-74 the final. Tough loss at Ball Hollis South at SAP Center yesterday. But shout out Coach of the Year, Natalie Nakase. Shout out Most Improved Player, Veronica Burton. Shout out the All-Star that missed the game and the rest of the season after it, Kayla Thornton. By the way, them missing Monique Billings and Kayla Thornton, their 2 best players, and still taking the Lynx the distance they did yesterday, it's pretty incredible. Most wins ever by an expansion team, and the first expansion team to make the playoffs. Shout out to Valkyries. We're talking about them, 888-957-9570.
You're laying out all this Warrior talk. I'm going to give you an opinion that nobody maybe has come to the trough with, but I'll be first to the trough to plow this land.
Mac Mull, my opinion.
If Kawhi Leonard's contract gets basically torn up by the Clippers, the Warriors should be all over him. What do you mean? Oh, no. They should be all over him. I know. He's a pain in the neck to deal with. I know. Uncle Dennis, I get it. Trust me. I do. Believe me. I've read all the stuff. I would go get Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, yeah, it'd be perfect. Another guy that gets hurt all the time. It's awesome. Why not?
I mean,
sure.
Who plays more games, Draymond or Kawhi?
Look, guys. Is this about winning a championship? All right? We understand the timelines match up. I don't need him to be great for the next 3 years. I'm worried about this year.
The Warriors have won a championship more recently than Kawhi Leonard without Kawhi Leonard. No, Kawhi is just... He's a team killer.
I don't need him to be the best player.
Teams.
I don't need him to be the leader. If Kawhi gets his contract ripped up and he's available for X, Y, and Z reasons, obviously the money's going to have to, I don't even know how that would work. I don't even know. I'm telling you, the Warriors should be all over Kawhi Leonard. It's insane to not think about it. Insane.
Oh, God. I didn't think we were going to go here.
What are you talking about?
I'm so out on Kawhi Leonard.
And I'll take it even a step further.
So out
Let's
on
go
Kawhi.
even farther on this journey. If we have to set up a fake business account here at 95.7 The Game and have some no-show jobs for him and Uncle Dennis, I mean, I know getting money out of this place is like getting blood out of a turnip, but I'm telling you, set it up. You're telling me Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry wouldn't work. You're insane.
Yeah. It works for about a couple games until one of them gets hurt.
I don't need him to be great all 82 games of the year. Just figure out how to be ready for the playoffs.
That's what they've been trying to do forever. And the first time he is ready for the playoffs, they're one and done. Like, he was literally as healthy as he's been. It was all last year. Everyone was so high on the Clippers. I know you were high on them. Bonte was high on them. What happened? Lost in the first round. The Warriors got further in the playoffs than the Clippers did last year, and the Clippers were healthy. I
think you're crazy.
There is so much drama and toxicity and everything attached to Kawhi Leonard. I am so out on that. But hey,
let me play this hypothetical,
please.
Just hypothetically, and I don't even know if this even would work. The CBA is so complicated. But if you were just throwing these two, I'm just going to make it as simple as possible. Suspend the CBA reality. The Kuminga conundrum or Kawhi and everything that comes with it. Sign up for Kawhi all day. All day.
888-957-9570.
Like, how's this even? This is a no-brainer. Tell me I'm wrong. I challenge anyone in the Bay Area to tell me you wouldn't sign up for 1 year of Kawhi Leonard if you could somehow make it happen.
You get what you pay for in that scenario.
Of course.
Let's turn our backs on the guy that we wanted to be a homegrown player.
He doesn't want to be here.
Let's push him to the side. That's their own fault. And as Jonathan Kuminga said that verbally, I don't want to be in Golden State. Has he said that? Until he says that, I'm not gonna touch that.
I mean, come on, dude.
I'm just saying, Kawhi Leonard. Much like we talked about Jimmy Butler, as he was a team killer last year, as the Miami Heat were just a dumpster fire, and he was a big part of that. Now he comes here, he's been a model citizen. We can only talk about that, and it worked. It was great. I love what Jimmy Butler did with the Golden State Warriors, and hopefully they continue to build off that, and it's a lot better going into next season. And again, we're talking about it. The WNBA season has ended for the Golden State Valkyries. We're going to be pivoting to the NBA pretty soon. We got the Kuminga stuff. Kawhi Leonard, though, Joe, all of this drama, and it's been nothing but drama.
I acknowledge it. So is Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I understand.
So is Jimmy Butler. So is Draymond Green.
Yeah, but Jimmy Butler is actually taking his team to not one, but 2 NBA finals.
Kawhi beat the Warriors on one leg. And now, granted, it was 7 years ago.
Yeah, but they lost their 2 best players, and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson had to take that for him to beat them.
Joe,
and let's be honest,
if
Fred
Steve Kerr
VanVleet
looked down at the end of that bench, if Steve Kerr looked down at the end of that bench for X, Y, and Z reasons, and he was like, Kuminga or Kawhi, come on.
And I don't think anyone's going to touch Kawhi Leonard because, quite frankly, couldn't he be suspended if you trade this guy and they find that he was like in the wrong doing something, and then you trade for a guy that you're paying and then he's suspended?
No. In this scenario, I'm assuming that the contract's probably going to get ripped up. I think it's going to get ripped up. Is it not?
I had no idea, but there are talks, and there's a lot of people within the Los Angeles Clippers organization right now that want to just move off of him. That's the latest. From ESPN, there's this article, I think it's Baxter Holmes, inside the tumultuous Kawhi Leonard era in Los Angeles, and Steve Ballmer, the Aspiration Company, all of that,
Uncle
Dennis. There's so much revolving around Kawhi Leonard, and I'm just talking about strictly the game of basketball. And yes, as a basketball player, when he's out there, Joe, we saw in that final game of the regular season last year. I hear you.
Come on, man.
I hear you on that, but there is just so much toxicity around that, and for a team that's trying to move away from that and trying to get all that toxic, nature away from them. And that's what a lot of Warriors fans are like, hey, just rip the Band-Aid off with Jonathan Kuminga. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. We want to be in a fresh space, a fresh mindset heading into the season. I understand that. But then you want to bring in Kawhi Leonard on top of it?
You're overthinking it. It's Kawhi Leonard! What do we do? Line them up. 888-957-9570. Kawhi Leonard. Forget what it costs. Forget his contract status, all that. Just in or out. In or out on the Warriors getting Kawhi Leonard. Just simple. It's very simple to me. In or out. Are you in or out? I'm in all day. It's a no-brainer. What are we talking about? Kawhi Leonard? What What?
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard hasn't been Kawhi Leonard for quite some time.
He beat the Warriors the final game of the year to get into the playoffs.
Great. What team advanced farther in the playoffs? Tell me. Which one? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's time for the Golden State Valkyries Strongest Player of the Game. Brought to you by El Camino Health. Our strength, your health. The Valkyries season ended in heartbreak last night, falling 75-74 to the Minnesota Lynx. But that does not take away from the amazing inaugural season they had, which is why our strongest player today is actually the coach, Natalie Nakase, who before the game was named the WNBA Coach of the Year. But that's not going to distract her from the ultimate goal.
Obviously, thank you, Kathy, for honoring me with this award. Like I said, and I'm being true, no one really cares. I'm being very serious. I never aimed for this type of award. My dad taught me that early on. It's all about winning. And that's why, I took this job, because Joe was like, if you take this job, we got to win a championship in 5 years. And so that's the goal.
That's great stuff. And we'll hear more from Natalie Nakase, some of the players as the show goes on. I want to hear all show long. If you were at the game, if you attended a game at all this season at Ball Halla, come on. Show out for the Valks. They showed out for you all season long. 888-957-9570. The phone lines are open.
I challenge any person in the Bay Area to explain to me with logic why it doesn't make sense on the floor adding Kawhi Leonard in this hypothetical. I challenge anyone. I will sit back. I won't interrupt. I want to listen. I challenge you. Don't bring up these no-show jobs. I don't care about the off the court. Jimmy Butler had a million things wrong with him. Explain to me why it won't work on the floor.
Yeah, man, you seem very emotional.
I'm all in
this.
on Kawhi. Let's go.
Kawhi Leonard.
I might as well be Uncle Dennis.
Kawhi Leonard was not the strongest player in the game. That was Natalie Nakase, brought to you by El Camino Health. Our strength, your health. 888-957-9570 is the number. What's coming up the game is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Hey, Kawhi Leonard, Warriors fans, in or out, I'm bringing him to the Bay if available on 95.7 The Game.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? We always bottle our Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all our bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from our own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source.
Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years.
Something special for your outdoor living is on sale now at Dolan's. It's fiber-on decking for easy, carefree living. Why choose this durable composite? There's an amazing choice of colors. The rich look of multi-chromatic exotic hardwood. It resists splintering, rotting, and cracking with really low maintenance. See the colors and learn more at dolanlumber.com. Fiber-on decking, on sale at Dolan's Home Improvement Centers.
Fall is the season for reinvention, and it's easy to do at Macy's Fall Favorite Sale. Come in and find your new favorite styles, like romantic ruffled dresses, chic trenches, cashmere sweaters, and textural fall layers, which are perfect for mixing and matching. All for 20 to 50% off. So if you're looking for your new favorite things, look no further than the Fall Favorite Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
I knew that I was not living the life that I wanted to live, but I didn't know how to get back on track. It gave me the time and space to take life one step at a time. I have a life beyond what I could ever dream. I know that anyone can recover. I am living proof that recovery is possible.
Get treatment. It works. Learn more. Visit livingproofsf.org.
Time for the closer of the week. Presented by LiftMaster and RNS Doors. Turn your garage into the envy of the neighborhood. Visit rnsdoors.com.
This week's closer comes from Cliff from Richmond. The crew that came to repair our gate were amazing. So polite and friendly and helpful, they got us back up and running in no time. Their professional attitude kept our team and fleet of vehicles operational. Thank you, Fred and Sal.
Recently, my garage door opener was not working. I was in need of a closer. I was put in touch with RNS Doors, and they hooked
hooked me up with a brand new garage door opener from LiftMaster. With LiftMaster's MyQ connectivity, my garage door opener can be controlled right from my smartphone. You'll know when a door or gate has been left open and can close it with a tap, no matter where I am. Be one of the first 10 callers and receive 20% off a LiftMaster garage door opener.
Call 1-800-FIX-A-DOOR. That's 800-FIX-A-DOOR. Or visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red truck.
When selecting a financial institution, how do you know you're making the right choice? As Bay Area bank customers find themselves at a crossroads, maybe it's good to consider if you want your bank to be community-oriented or corporate-minded. Fremont Bank has grown by providing stable, consistent service to the region, its families, and its businesses for 60 years, all without a single merger. And we intend for more of the same for the next 60. Fremont Bank. Here for you, here for good.
Brought to you by Stevens Creek Subaru. Custom order your next Subaru at StevensCreekSubaru.com.
Coming to Freeman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill, September 26th through the 28th for their fall clearance sales event. Take advantage of factory direct prices, one-of-a-kind opportunities, special pricing on floor models, and convenient financing. Save on new appliances from trusted brands like Miele, Bosch, Electrolux, LG, and Maytag. Visit Freeman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill for their fall clearance sales event September 26th through the 28th for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
Hey, football fans, it's Brian Baldinger here with It's Your Journey, presented by Hyundai. We have another great matchup in Week 3 as Detroit goes to Baltimore in what will be another great matchup. Both teams have aspirations of making it deep into the playoffs, but the journey begins here. Both teams have solid defenses, but which quarterback will be able to overcome and lead their team to a win? It's Your Journey is brought to you by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on now. Get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Don't miss out. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
It's Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances and save an additional $1,000 when you buy 4 select LG major appliances. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Get the job done for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/26. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
It's your boy Dibs. It's football season, which means we talk to stink Mark Schlereth on the regular. Now, back to a show that actually doesn't stink. The Morning Roast.
This is a certified hood classic.
Thanks, Dibs. Shout out Mark Schlereth. He's a good. I enjoy Mark. He's very good. He's ever since he's been on ESPN as a player, all of it. Very entertaining, good stuff. I listened to Greg Cosell on yesterday. We'll get into some of what Greg Cosell had to say later on in the show because there's a big conversation still to be had in regards to Brock Purdy. He's practicing, and they're talking about him maybe starting this week. I don't know about that one. We'll get into that. Plus,
I have very specific thoughts on that.
Yeah, I do too. And we'll talk with Jennifer Lee Chan, 810, obviously covers the 49ers, NBC Sports Bay Area, knows all things about that organization inside and out. JLC coming up at 810. Speaking of football conversations, before we dive back into the Kawhi stuff, do you want Kawhi Leonard, if he's available, Warriors fans? 888-957-9570 is the number to call or text the Boxer and Gerson Work Injury Attorneys text line. We have a YouTube poll up, and it's not Kawhi related. It's actually fantasy football related because remember, Shasky is the people's team this year. He is a man of the people, and the people's team is a part of the 95.7 The Game Fantasy Football League. 16 teams, by the way. And your boys in first at 2-0, just absolutely waxing every single team.
I am too.
But you don't have as many points as me, so I'm in first place. But this is the YouTube poll to help Joe this weekend, Carter. Who should Shasky start at quarterback for his fantasy football team this week? Bo Nix or Drake May? Wow. Ugh.
Ooh. Talk about quarterback depth.
Yeah, I don't know. Who are those teams playing? First of all, that's going to be the question, I guess. And we'll get into it at 888-957-9570. But that's the YouTube pull up. We'll look back at that in about 30 or 40 minutes, Sammy, to see where we're at.
Broncos have the Chargers.
Okay.
And then the Patriots are playing the Steelers.
Okay, so Broncos. Okay, Steelers don't have a good defense. So I just by virtue, I think I might be going Drake May. Chargers defense looks legit. Like it might be one of the best in the NFL. They absolutely stymied who's my guy? Geno Smith a couple nights ago. I think they may do something similar with Bo Nix. 888-957-9570, though. Jumping back to what we were talking about with Kawhi Leonard. I have a little game I want to play with you, Joe. And listen, you're totally fine in feeling like, you know what, if Kawhi's available, go get him. If it's for the cheap, whatever. You're tired of the Jonathan Kuminga saga. You're tired of all this. If you're going to go old, just go all in. You already have Jimmy Butler. You already have Steph. You already have Draymond. I could jump in with that. I can. I understand. But let's just play a little game. Since he's been a Los Angeles Clipper.
Okay.
Games played for Kawhi Leonard.
I don't care. I literally don't care.
Then we won't play the game. Well, it doesn't matter, I guess. Playing games doesn't matter.
Am I asking him to be my best player?
No, you're asking him to be one of your best players, though.
No, I've got 3 other guys going to the Hall of Fame. I don't need him to even be my second best player for months at a time. Like, I think this situation is extremely unique. You have Steph Curry, you have Draymond Green, and you have Jimmy Butler. Yes, I would add Kawhi Leonard in a heartbeat. I don't care what his injury risks are. I don't care how far his team went in the playoffs last year. This is one of the singular, perfect 5 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go, get the ball in his hands and get out of the way type of players that fits beautifully alongside a Curry, a Draymond, and a Jimmy. Like, he's everything that they need right now. Now, could they use some size and some? Yeah, of course they're going to need that thing. But, like, it's Kawhi Leonard. Like, we're just overthinking this. Like, we are talking ourselves into a guy by the name of DeAnthony Melton who's played a combined 44 games in 2 years.
No one's talking themselves into it. We're just telling you. You're just saying DeAnthony Melton's coming back, coming off a torn ACL. Again, I don't think DeAnthony Melton's going to be a difference maker for this team going forward. And I'm not saying that. If people are saying that, I don't know who they are.
How many one-on-ones would this guy get when you have Jimmy and Steph and Dre out there together offensively? Now, nobody's really guarding Draymond like that. They're sagging off of him. But as a mid-range floor spacer, he'd be perfect. He's exactly what you're looking for. He would never get better looks than what he's getting right now. And that's even though he played alongside James Harden. And we all know, like, this thing about how far your team went in the playoffs is irrelevant when James Harden is your next best player. Because James Harden fades in the playoffs every single time.
No, we were talking about James Harden being the difference, beating the Warriors in overtime, which was essentially a playoff game for both of them. So we can't
But that game was a regular season game. And we know that come playoff time, the guy turns up into someone completely different. We know that.
James Harden in the offs. We'll get to that. But first, let's go to Richie Rich in Livermore.
What's up, Richie Rich?
Richie Rich, you want Kawhi Leonard on the Dubs?
You're damn right I want Kawhi Leonard. What do you think? It's Fedoni. It's Kawhi Leonard, bro. He closes out games. What the hell does Jonathan Kuminga prove to us? You say drama? Draymond Green's the queen of drama, dog. That's what we are, drama. You go get that damn man. Clippers, do me a favor. Rip that contract up, because you know what? If I'm Laker, I'm calling his ass that same minute, and I'm bringing him down to Golden State, bro. He closes games, okay? How many games have we lost that we could have not closed out this last year, okay? He does that, bro. We want Kawhi Leonard. Go ahead and bring Dan Kawhi Leonard to Golden State, all right? Totally. And then the next thing, damn it, Walker. Dude, Walker, you are booty like Jake Booty, bro. You give me vibes like Jake Moody, dude. I prematurely text Shafty that, so like, here we go again, because the dude has got 5 losses under his belt. You hear me out? 5 losses by himself, dude. We are 3 games out, 5 losses, okay? You take those losses away, we're in it, dude. Yeah. He does not know how to close.
They won the game yesterday.
Game.
What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, they got so lucky. He walked the bases Logan. I mean, did you watch the ninth inning?
Yeah, they won. I don't care. Like, there we go. Whoever should be mad this morning, my guy fought over there. 9 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs, and you lose the game. That's horrible. They won the game. The Giants are still in it. They're 76-76.
They're not still in it.
They are. They are. Mathematically, they absolutely are still in it. They're 2 games back, but really 3 due to the tie break with the New York Mets. But listen, you guys want Kawhi Leonard? Sure. Go get him.
Well, I mean,
is he really going to be the difference between anything? He's not going to be healthy. He's not going to suit up. He's going to be his own team. He's going to be hanging out with Uncle Dennis. You're not going to hear a peep from him. Like, just sure.
But Joe, what if he does show up and play?
Great. Go get Al Horford, too. Be the oldest team ever, because that's going to work in the West.
What other
no,
option
just
do
double
they
down
have?
on just being old. Sure.
But what other
Why
option
not?
do they have? They're not going to go young. Like, let's just play this out. Like, what are they going to go younger?
No, they can't, is what I'm saying. I'd rather have the minutes allocated to Jonathan Kuminga at that point. I really would. Just to see.
You
yes.
might, but the coach clearly doesn't.
Again, great. Steve Kerr is going to really he's going to be able to navigate Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and then add an Al Horford on. Is anyone playing on back-to-backs on this team?
No.
Is anyone playing in back-to-backs? No. But you're telling me that the regular season doesn't matter, but for this team it will, because none of the guys are going to be playing. They're all going to be hurt.
How many games did Kuminga play last year?
I got it right here. He played 47.
Okay.
47 games played.
How many of those games did the coach of the 47?
That was 5 more than Kawhi Leonard played last year, by the way, which was 37.
All right. And how many of those did the coach look down at the end of the bench with 5 minutes ago? Was like, yep, I trust you to go in there and play.
Well, his hand was forced. He ended up being a pretty good player when he got the opportunity to start in some of these games.
For a month down the stretch, we didn't see him. Until injury to
There
Curry.
was a lot, obviously, that was baked into that. You added Jimmy Butler, and you were winning because of that. So you went with the hot hand, kind of like with backup quarterbacks. You went with what was working, and you rode that until the wheels fell off. And then you needed Jonathan Kuminga, and you were the one telling me how much of a difference maker the guy was when he had the opportunity against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
He was. But clearly enough has come out now where it's like, we have to recognize it's not about what has happened. It's about what we want to do this year. And now it's all even about the next year or two. And so I look at it this way, and I'll finish it here. If the NBA rips up Kawhi Leonard's contract, look around the league. All right, yes, next year and the year beyond that, teams have a lot of cap space. But right now, no one has cap space. That's why Kuminga is kind of stuck in no man's land because not a lot of teams can afford him right now. All right, so if Kawhi magically becomes a free agent, look around. How much money is someone going to be able to afford him right now in year one? He's probably looking at like dire 1-year type of contract situations, maybe multi-year, maybe with it escalating. There's just not a lot of room right now.
So he signed this was back in last year, right? 2024, 3-year, $149 million contract extension with the Clippers. So he's due to the cap hit this year, $50 million, and then next year is $50. Yeah.
But if it gets torn up because of all of the improprieties, if you will, on what he's done, and it gets voided, if that contract gets voided, like everyone's going to have an opportunity to go get this guy, and he's going to have his pick of the litter. All right. And like that's the reality. He wants to be somewhere near SoCal. That's why he's there in the first place.
So he'll probably just go to the Lakers then.
Maybe. But the Warriors should be in on that all day.
Let's see. Kuminga has played in 76% of possible games with the Warriors. Kawhi has played in 54% of possible games with the Clippers. This obviously is the regular season only. Brought to you by Golden State, by the way, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. Also this. So under contract for the next 2 seasons, the Clippers don't control their first-round pick in the next 4 years. Their unprotected first-round pick in 2026 is going to the Thunder, who have the right to swap first-round picks for the Clippers in 2027. Oh, my God.
Just insane.
The rich get richer. It doesn't matter. The Thunder aren't going anywhere. It is insane. But that's why, again, we're having the conversation, and I get it. I'd be shocked if they are just going to cut him outright because they need the picks.
No,
they need it.
They wouldn't cut. I'm saying the league is just read the tea leaves here. They only have a handful of options here with this whole thing. If they are found guilty, which is pretty obvious that they're guilty,
maybe, but
they might end up voiding the contract.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like the way that Adam Silver is talking about it doesn't really. I'm just going off what he's saying. The commissioner of the NBA. It sounds like it's a big nothing burger. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. But when Mark Cuban, who obviously is still a partial owner, not the majority, no, you can scoff at it. But Mark Cuban is in with the league and in with Adam Silver, and he's probably still a mouthpiece for the league. And when he says it's a big nothing burger, that's how I'm choosing to view the league as viewing it. A big nothing burger. And it might not be.
This is the same guy, Mark Cuban. And again, he's a very complicated individual who defended Donald Sterling because he didn't want his team taken away from him because of all the improprieties that were going on inside the Dallas Mavericks front office. So, Mark Cuban has a lot of ulterior motives when he tweets things out.
Yeah, but he's always defended the commissioners, and he's always defended, again,
I know.
He's going to defend the league.
Trust me, I'm aware.
This isn't a Donald Sterling level case, though.
I didn't say that. I'm saying
but he brought up Donald Sterling. This is way
because Mark
different.
Cuban defended Donald Sterling because he did not want to see other owners have their teams ripped from them. So when he puts things out there, it is through the prerogative of don't take my team. Don't punish my team. Like, he's a mouthpiece.
He is. And I just am judging off what he's saying with Adam Silver. I don't think this is going to happen. But again, it's an interesting hypothetical and conversation as we still don't have an ending with the Jonathan Kuminga crisis saga, whatever the hell you want to call it. 888-957-9570 is the number.
I'm done on it. But I'll tell you this. If he's available and he can be out there, I'd be all over it. All over it. Bring him in. Let's go.
We're going to get to Brock Purdy in a little bit and whether he should start this week if he can go, or do you protect him? We'll get into that, I promise. We got JLC, Jennifer Lee Chan, joining us at 8:10. But I want to stick on the NBA for a minute, Joe, because there is something that Adam Silver said recently that really kind of pissed me off, and we've just been so knee-deep in Mac Jones and the football and all of it that we really haven't had a chance to get to it. As you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, and the home of the Warriors and Valkyries, always live on the free Odyssey app, coming live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Adam Silver was asked, and, he had a press conference to kind of talk about the state of the league and where things are at. And, with rising costs in streaming and watching sports, people are being very selective. And I'm totally with the consumer on all this when it comes to, cutting the cord and being very selective. I know we have reads here at the station for Paramount Plus. You can go there. You can go. You said Netflix has some stuff
Xfinity,
now.
YouTube. There's subscription fatigue when it comes to the streaming platform.
There's so much, and there's no one that has more subscription fatigue than the NBA fan because it's all over the place right now. And so Adam Silver was asked about, hey, the rising costs with this stuff. Is that concerning for you when it comes to people that might not be able to watch, NBA games on a night in and night out basis?
There's a huge amount of our content that people can essentially consume for free. I mean, this is very much a highlights-based sport, so, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, any service, the New York Times for that matter, to the extent that your content is not behind a paid firewall. There's an enormous amount of content out there. YouTube, by another example, that is advertising-based that consumers can consume.
It's a highlight-based sport. So people can just watch the highlights for free on Twitter, and that's fine for everyone. That came off as so tone-deaf. That came off as just the most ridiculous thing that a commissioner can say. Is Roger Goodell out here saying, this is a highlight-based sport, so you just have to, find the highlights. Every sport is highlight-based, first and foremost, by the way. Every single one. Soccer, baseball, football, basketball. They're only posting the highlights. Literally on my TV right now is a highlight of the Dolphins, and they've had no highlights. Like, that's what we do. So no bleep, Adam Silver. It's a highlights-based sport. I want to be able to watch the sport at a reasonable cost as a consumer. That's what I care about. I'm not going to be able to understand the Warriors season, Joe, as a consumer if I'm just watching the highlights for 2 minutes on ESPN.com. I'm not going to get the lay of the land. I'm not going to be able to talk about the game with my friends if I'm just watching the highlights. I'm not going to be able to, have fun covering every other team in the league just by highlights. That just came off as so tone deaf, and we needed to get to it, Joe. What is Adam Silver talking about here?
The problem is that Adam Silver has spent too much time around 100 millionaires. He is the players' commissioner, and it's been one of the worst things that could possibly happen. No, that's the reality is he's staying around a bunch of people who have lots and lots and lots of money, and so they're totally out of touch with reality. I mean, that's where we're at right now. This is a 65-year-old man who hasn't understood what it's like to live check to check, week to week in the normal society, and understand that his league is just out of touch with the common fan right now, for the most part. Now, not all of them, but they just are, and it's a big problem right now. It's a big, big, big problem right now for the league, and I think he's gotten way too close to some of the really high-priced, expensive players, whether it be C.J. McCollum, Chris Paul, LeBron James, etc. And these guys they've been of the 1% of the 1% since most of them were 21 years old. And I think that they have too few people around them. I'm talking about Adam Silver and these players. They have too few people around them that understand what it's like to just be a normal fan. I think whether we're talking about load management, whether we're talking about the calendar of the season, whether we're talking about who's presenting the games, how they're talking about the games, saying that the league is a highlight league, like he's tone deaf on every single.
He's devaluing his own product.
Well,
that's what he's doing. He's telling me, Joe, that the entire games don't matter.
But they've been telling you that for a long time by sitting players.
But there's one thing, he actually told us that. Like there's a difference between, how the product is shaped and how you're promoting it. But when you actually go out there and say this is a highlight-based sport, you're telling me the entire game doesn't matter. Joe. So then why am I paying for all these things if I'm the consumer?
They've done with the All-Star game. Just look at the All-Star game. Look at how many pivots they've done on the All-Star game alone, which is one of their marquee things that they do throughout the year. We could all laugh at the All-Star game. It's one of the highest-rated things the NBA does all year outside of the playoffs.
Steph won the MVP. It was great. It was fun.
No,
Steph
it wasn't.
Won the MVP.
No, you're come on, stop. I'm calling cap on that.
No, he won. It was awesome.
The All-Star game was not fun. The All-Star game was garbage. Like, we didn't even understand the format. What? Stop. Just because Steph won it doesn't mean that we can't take a step back and say the All-Star game was so confusing and no one understood what was going on. What are we talking about? It was not Michael or Magic. It wasn't Allen Iverson crossing up Jordan. It was none of those things. What are we talking about? The All-Star game this year was trash. Trash.
Well, they changed the format, so clearly maybe the NBA agreed with you.
It's obvious. The consumer agreed. We all agreed. It was garbage.
Right.
It's different this coming year.
Cool. Yeah. Steph won, but come on, Spadoni.
Well, I thought I was laying the sarcasm on pretty
clear.
I thought you were being
sincere.
That was great. It was fun. It was awesome. No, Joe, I had to talk about it for a couple days. We're out in Hawaii. I had to talk about it. Cousin Nick Friedel came in, and we talked about that game.
The reason why I bring up the All-Star game, that was the beginning of the end for Bud Selig. Was the All-Star game. And I kind of feel the same thing with Adam. Adam Silver's done. He's done. They're going to vote him out. He's got to go. Like, this is, we're out of here. And I think the Pablo Torre report on Kawhi Leonard is just the tip of the iceberg of everything that's been going on right now. And if I am one of the owners in the league and I'm one of their partners, think about the big deal that you just spent if you're Peacock or NBC to bring back the NBA. And they're telling you, the games really don't matter. It's all about the highlights. What? What did we just spend $7 billion for? Like, your partners, you're telling your partners who invested money, games don't really matter. What if you're a season ticket holder? It's a highlight league.
Another reason why the NFL is just dominating, because we're tuned in to every single game all at once. And there is something there. And it's funny because people are going to say, oh, well, Spadoni, you only care about the Red Zone channel. Yeah. But I'm actually watching the game live when it's happening. There's a difference.
No, I don't move for 10 hours.
I don't move. I'm not moving. I'm watching all the action, all the game stuff. I'm literally sitting there on my couch watching the games, not highlights, not watching a highlight package of John Morant dunks on a given evening. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Great. That's awesome. And I get it. It's a longer season. It's different. Like, I'm not going to be sitting down watching, Denver Nuggets basketball every day. I'm not doing that. But I used to watch, Joe, and tune in for the early games on the East Coast prior to the West Coast games, like the TNT. No, but we used to, right?
Yeah, we all
Whether it was, Hawks Celtics or, Magic, whatever, Magic Bucks, I would watch those games. I would, and that would hold me over until the team I actually cared about was playing, whether it was Warriors Thunder, or Warriors Lakers, whatever. Like, the fact that I'm not even caring about that game prior to it, that's the problem. Sell me on that game, Adam Silver. That's what you need to be selling me on. You don't need to sell me at all this week on whatever, give me the worst game of the slate this weekend in the NFL. You could still sell the worst game on the slate this weekend easily to me.
If you're not a Niner fan, Cardinals-Niners is like, I can't wait to watch. It's Kyler versus, I don't know, maybe Mac, maybe Brock Purdy.
Yo, it's 2-2-0 teams. You just sold me right there.
Yeah,
oh, wow. Hey, let's see who's for real with this. This is great. Let's see. I'm looking through the schedule right now this week. What's a non-sexy matchup? Okay.
Who do the Giants
Chiefs, two winless teams?
Yeah, no. The Texans and Jaguars, both 0-2. How about that? They're not traditional names. You got C.J. Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. Those guys are playing for a lot this week.
Yeah.
One of those teams are going to be 0-3. The last time an 0-3 team made the playoffs this century, it's only happened one time, actually was the Texans back in 2017-18, I believe. I just saw the stat.
I wish we were in the AFC South. I swear to God, it's been one of the worst divisions of my life.
But Colts-Titans, you can even give me that one. Daniel Jones is exciting.
Hey, Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, you just said two things right there. I'm already interested. Let's see what Cam Ward. So, again, we're going to pivot right now to the NFL because I'm actually going to be talking about their game for like a whole day after it happens. I'm actually going to be talking about all these games that are happening this weekend. Sorry, Adam Silver. They're also highlight-based, but I also care about the in-game action. So we're going to pivot there on the other side. Brock Purdy, 888-957-9570.
You know what's coming, right?
What?
LeBron and some of the other guys are going to be standing there next to that guy that Brady was standing next to.
Oh, no.
And they're gonna like splinter off into some 3-on-3 league. Brady's getting paid $75 million to do that. Did you know that? $75 million
God, it must
to
be
do
nice.
that. Just mark my words. Adam Silver and the NBA. If you don't think the Saudi investment firm is going to be trying to get these guys to play overseas, you're tripping, and they're all going to do it.
What is that traditional, like, the garb that they wear over in the Middle East? I don't know what they're called, like the sheiks and stuff. Can you just imagine LeBron rocking that over in Saudi, crossing up someone on the court, and then, like, a desert storm comes in and washes away the court?
I bet you Zion and Kawhi will be healthy for that.
Oh, boy. Let's talk Purdy. Let's talk Mac Jones.
I couldn't believe what I saw on the field yesterday.
No, I couldn't believe what I heard Kyle Shanahan say yesterday. We'll get into all of that. Could Brock Purdy really play this week, this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals?
Possibly.
It's going to be brought to you by California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans.
My mom, my papa, my daddy. Where's the Caltrans? On the freeway, right next to speeding cars.
Please be careful.
Be alert. Be work zone alert. Brought to you by the kids of Caltrans.
Find seafood savings at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off sustainable wild-caught fresh swordfish steaks with Prime through September 23rd. Just add lemon butter and herbs for a delectable dinner protein. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Here we go.
Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
This is incredible.
Watch your local NFL game live all season long.
And he's in for a touchdown.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
For over 70 years, Golden State Lumber and Showroom has developed strong partnerships with top brands like Trex. Leading the way in performance-engineered decking and railing, Trex offers products that won't rot, splinter, or fade. Their sun-comfortable, heat-mitigating technology keeps decks cool underfoot, and Trex marine-grade decking withstands saltwater, sun, and sand. Explore their latest Transcend colors, Hatteras and Salt Flat, featuring a 50-year limited residential warranty. For a link to Trex, visit GoldenStateLumber.com. Golden State, when you succeed, we succeed.
Fall is the season for reinvention, and it's easy to do at Macy's Fall Favorite Sale. Come in and find your new favorite styles, like romantic ruffled dresses, chic trenches, cashmere sweaters, and textural fall layers, which are perfect for mixing and matching. All for 20 to 50% off. So if you're looking for your new favorite things, look no further than the Fall Favorite Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/sports. openphone.com/SPORTS.
A strong heart, a steady stride, a life full of milestones. El Camino Health is here for you. From advanced heart and vascular care that keeps you on beat, to expert orthopedic treatments that keep you moving, and innovative cancer care that fights alongside you, with expert care for women, men, and new moms, supporting you through every chapter of your health, because every life we touch is built on trust and compassion. El Camino Health, our strength, your health.
Hey, it's Bonte. Just back from a fall visit to River Islands where the schools are back in session. There are 3 top-rated K through 8th grade academies within the community, and construction just started on Academy number 4. River Islands High School students are busy in the classroom and on the sports fields of their phenomenal new campus. I don't remember high school ever looking this good. Elsewhere in Northern California's most successful lifestyle community, they're putting the final touches on another park. This one with the playground, workout areas, tennis, a splash pad, and a picnic area. The fall weather is still perfect for launching a kayak or a paddleboard off your own deck and head over to the Boathouse restaurant for lunch or dinner. More than 4,000 households have already made the move to River Islands. Today, with 15 neighborhoods priced from the $600,000 to over $1 million, there's more variety in home styles and sizes than ever before. In fact, the only thing missing at River Islands is you. Start your tour today at riverislands.com. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands?
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Tulsa is my home now.
Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone stars in the Paramount Plus original series, Tulsa King.
This distillery is a very interesting business. And we gotta know the enemy.
From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Landman.
What are you saying? I'm a rat! If you think you're gonna take me on, it's gonna be really difficult.
Tulsa King, new season streaming September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Alameda County offers amazing careers in health and human services, public safety, IT, and more. In fact, they offer unbeatable benefits, flexible schedules, and job security. Explore open positions and apply today at acjobs.org. Alameda County, our community, your purpose.
Hey, it's Sarah from Alice. Welcome back to the JoJo Show, the morning roast at the game.
I love you, Sarah. If you're listening, which you're probably not because you're doing a show at the exact same time as us. Shout out Sarah and Vinny. Alice 97.3, good vibes and variety. And
this is the Mission Street banger.
Again, Sarah, you're the best. Sarah.
It's Tupac.
It is. It is.
I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider.
There's a lot.
Such a banger.
There's a lot. We were just listening to P.D. Pablo because there's a bunch of music playing. If we just take you behind the curtains here, 95.7 The Game, we have a bunch of different stations, bunch of music stations, news stations, what have you. So it's always, an amalgamation when we're getting coffee or going to the vending machine. It could be Avril Lavigne. It could be DMX. It could be Tupac, Benson Boone, Taylor Swift, whatever, P.D. Pablo. It don't matter. It's going to be something new. But it's never 95.7 The Game. Just going to say it again. Why? I want to be listening to Mac Jones talk and that while I'm getting coffee. What's going on with Mac Jones? Is he starting this week? I have him in fantasy. Well, he might be, Joe. Hear the latest? Did you see it? We posted about it on our social media feed. Brock Purdy practicing, limited, looking like he might potentially play.
Ooh.
That's kind of surprising. After the show we just had a couple days ago, when we talked to Brian Baldinger, when we talked to Lorenzo Neal, former athletes who have had turf toe and dealt with it, and said that it's not going to go away. The fact that after just 1 week off, he is already practicing, you could take it one or two ways. Wow. Maybe it wasn't that bad, and maybe we were overreacting, and they were just being extremely cautious. Could be. That could be it. Or he's rushing back, the team's rushing him back, and they're not protecting him very well. There is no in-between in that scenario as far as I'm concerned. When Ian Rappaport, who is more tapped in than anyone else in the NFL, he gets all of his sources directly from the source. He is tapped in. When he comes on and says minimum 2 to 5 weeks, that's a little bit more serious. If he just said a week and maybe 2, okay, I could live that. But the fact that it was 2 to 5, it's got to be a little bit more serious. And the fact that he might even start on Sunday or be a backup, quite frankly, it's a little insane.
Well, it sounded like to me, some of the people that were tweeting things out about, like, oh, he could be a backup, I think it was lacking context, because it sounds like they meant emergency third-string quarterback. Because last week the Niners didn't have an emergency third-string quarterback.
And it's who? Adrian Martinez, right? Is the guy right now that would be? Okay.
Okay, but I guess I have a bunch of questions. Number one, like, how's he feel today? Does he practice today at all? You know, let's figure that out. Number two, what is the rush? Can I just ask, like, what's the rush? After you see the severity of the Joe Burrow injury, and every single person, doctor, athlete, etc., tells you, like, this is an injury you want to be really cautious with. What is the rush? Will we all agree he's better than Mac? We all agree.
Yes.
He's not losing his job to Mac.
Yes.
Okay? We all agree he's the franchise quarterback. We all agree can't have this happen, you know, where he can re-aggravate himself down the line. Don't want this to linger into later on in the year or possibly next year. Like, everyone's in agreement. What is the rush? Now, I'm not saying that they're being reckless, and I'm not saying Brock's being reckless. I'm just asking, like, what are we rushing? Like, to me, I think it's almost borderline crazy to think that he could play in this game on Sunday. And I would say if he does play Sunday, wow. What are we doing? What are we doing if he plays on Sunday? Because if he goes down, we're in trouble. That's number one. And what kind of an investment insurance are you having? Like, no, I want to take this as slow and as pragmatic as possible. And there's no guarantee you will ever get to 100% health. No one's at 100% healthy. I'm not saying that. But I don't understand what the rush is. Mac Jones winning that game on Sunday bought you more time. Even if you lose to the Cardinals, your season's not over. Even if Mac Jones looks terrible, your season's not over. I don't understand the rush whatsoever.
Shanahan, he had a back and forth yesterday at the media on Purdy's injury progress.
He's progressing well with his toe injury.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't limited last week, so yeah, he does have a chance.
Possibility that he could be the emergency backup on Sunday?
Yes.
All right, the emergency backup, which would be the third string in that scenario, how they labeled it, because if he was just going to be a backup, it makes zero sense. Like, if he's good enough to be a backup, then he's good enough to just play the game itself, as far as I'm concerned. But the emergency, right?
No. There's plenty of times where I've seen guys like, I'm healthy enough for a small period of time, but playing the full game and everything, like, nah, you're there. Again, emergency is different. Like, emergency is starter goes down, as in Mac would be the starter in that particular game, not just overall. And then your backup goes down, and then boom, you're the emergency. Like, that's different from being, like, fully healthy to participate in the entire game.
I just feel like if we're viewing him as the franchise quarterback, like every other franchise quarterback in the NFL, you are protecting this guy and moving heaven and earth to make sure that he does not re-aggravate or make this injury worse by any stretch of the imagination. They're doing that in Kansas City. They're doing that in Baltimore. They're doing that in Buffalo. They're doing that. Hell, they nipped that thing in the bud real quick in Cincinnati. They said, okay, this thing needs surgery. We're not going to wait. Boom, right there. Joe Burrow, you're out the next 3 months. Jake Browning, go get him. I just feel like if you make him the highest paid player in the history of the organization, you have to be 1,000% sure That this thing, no, seriously though, like you have to be 1,000% sure that this thing is not going to, all of a sudden just snap like that when we put him out there. For as much as we talked about Christian McCaffrey and his touches, and rightfully so, I'm kind of feeling the same thing when it comes to Brock Purdy and easing him back after this injury.
I'm treating him the same way I would treat Fred Warner at the end of last year. I did not want Fred Warner hurting his foot even more so that it could possibly bleed into this year. Now, that was a lost year. It was the end of the year, like whatever. Like, you could throw that out the window. So deactivating someone for a couple of games, it doesn't have the same exact feel as right now. The same thing with Nick Bosa. How many times have they sat Nick Bosa at the beginning or middle of a season for whatever oblique injury, groin, things that he's had? The whole point is, I would love for you to be able to play this weekend, but I have to take the big picture view on this. And it's the same thing with Brock Purdy. So it's not just player specific. I did this with Debo. I've done this with Kittle. I've done this with Bosa. And those guys' jobs weren't at stake, and Purdy's job's not at stake because Mac looks good or serviceable for a couple of weeks. Take the long-term approach. I think it would be borderline reckless to start him in this game.
Now, all that being said, I would be shocked if he does play in this game Sunday. I'm just going to throw it out there. I would be very surprised to see Brock Purdy this week. I think, at minimum, this gives me an inkling, Joe, or inkling, that next week he could return. In that case, okay, that makes sense. That's 2 weeks. That was the minimum that Rappaport reported, 2 to 5 weeks. Okay, I can get on board with that. I am going back in my mind to what Baldy kept saying about that turf toe. We have the sound from Brian Baldinger, obviously NFL Network, R95.7 The Game, NFL Insider. Baldy breakdowns every single Tuesday, 7:30, best in the business, on how the 49ers handle Brock's turf toe.
You can play. I mean, there's varying degrees of turf toe, okay? There's some where you can't walk. Like, literally, you can't put any weight on your foot. There's some where you can play a game. There's ways to get, but it's almost impossible to practice with this turf toe. It's just too painful. And so I think that's going to be a factor, is when can Brock Purdy practice? I think he can go out there within a week or two, probably, because it doesn't sound like it's as serious as Burrow. Regardless, I don't want to try to make some sort of false claim that I don't know, but that's the problem. I've had it. Like, it's impossible to practice with. And so now you're just a spectator. So then you're going to, okay, do you spectate all week and then think that the timing is going to be good game day because you can get through the game? Like, I think it's going to be a few weeks.
Okay, so that's Baldy, former NFL offensive lineman, Joe, talking about it.
I just would be so overly cautious. I would. That's the way I would view this. So overly cautious. This is a franchise quarterback. But like, I just don't see what the rush is. And it's you're 2-0. If you were 0-2, I would understand the sense of urgency. Even if you were 1-1 and you were wanting to make the argument, hey, like, this is a big swing game. It's a division game. We only won one of our NFC West games last year. We got one win earlier this year. You're 2-0. It's okay. A week 3 loss, even if Mac looks terrible, isn't the worst thing in the world. I don't understand what the sense of urgency is.
I'm going to hear from Lo Neal in a second. We're going to hear from Lo Neal in a second.
Do you agree with me on that?
I am 1,000% lockstep. But we just heard from Baldy there that he's saying, hey, you can't practice with it. But if Brock is practicing with it, then does that mean that it's,
Joe, I would say today isn't important. Like, is he back out there today?
Right.
Right. What does he look like back out there today?
It's how it responds, right?
Right.
And that's going to be the question going forward. And again, why are we talking about this so much? Because of the style of play Brock plays with. He is a mobile quarterback, all right? This guy uses his legs to create magic.
Yes.
And that's what makes him special. That's what makes him the highest paid player in the history of the organization, because he does things like he did in week 1, rolling out, throwing a little prayer shot to Jake Tonjes. He makes an incredible play. That's what makes Brock Brock. And if he loses any of that, the NFL is a very unforgiving league. You lose a step, they'll get right after you. I don't care what team it is. It could be the Saints. It could be the Chiefs. It could be the Eagles. Every single team is loaded with exceptional talent that can get to you. Like, I didn't even heard of Carl Granderson before last week. Guy was incredible. Looked like the best player on the field sometimes. He was great. So this is a very unforgiving league. So if he loses a step due to this turf toe, I have major concerns. And then if that happens with a shaky offensive line, we'll see with Connor Colby, we'll see with Trent Williams and how this thing goes going forward. yeah, I'm going to have major concerns and question marks around the organization. And considering, this team's past with quarterback play and injured quarterbacks, that'd be another big red X as far as I'm concerned of how they handle this thing. But we have someone that wants to chime in on this. You may know him. You may love him. You may hate him. I choose to love, and I do. Rob in San Bruno joins us now. What's up, Rob?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, dog?
Hey, look, we got to be real about it, man. Already seen that performance from Mac Jones. Already seen the way Kyle embraced Mac Jones. It was sort of like the way Kyle embraced him with the.
Oh, no, Rob. Gone.
I think what he was alluding to was that, he got his job because of injury and opportunity, and then he ran with it, and maybe he's feeling not insecure, but, threatened, if you will. I guess that's what Rob is getting
I'd
at.
be kind of insane after one game. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, the Trey and Jimmy thing, Trey was going to be out for the season, and Jimmy was going to be out for maybe the season. I guess he maybe could have played in the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl had they reached there. But he was basically out for the whole year, too.
If sports has taught me anything, it's that nothing's insane when it comes to a guy taking someone else's job because of injury. But in this situation, the amount of money invested into an individual will buy him more opportunities than anyone else. We see this with draft picks. Like, why did you hang on to Jake Moody as long as you did? Well, because you invested in the draft capital of a third-round pick.
Joe, Nick Foles took over for Carson Wentz and won a damn Super Bowl and was the MVP. And they said, see you later. Deuces. He had the greatest run in the history of the organization and said, yeah, go have fun in Jacksonville. Because why?
Well, Wentz was also going to be the MVP that league.
He was also, but he was an investment too.
No doubt.
And at
no
one point,
doubt.
And at one point, let's be fair here. If we're talking to do the compare and contrast with Carson Wentz, at one point, Brock Purdy looked like he was poised to win an MVP. At one point.
Yeah.
And things change, and I understand
Guys
that.
fall in and out of favor.
Exactly.
Jared Goff's career has taken so many turns over the years. So, I understand. And plus, just like the competitor in you doesn't want to see someone else go out there in your spot. Brady would talk about this all the time. Like, I didn't want my backup taking any snaps at practice. No. I didn't want them thinking that guy could do what I'm doing.
And there's ways to go about it now, too. And Joe Flacco, I think, got flack for this, lack of a better word. Joe Flacco got flack for this because he was basically saying last year, he was like, I'm trying to win a job. Like, I'm not trying to be these guys like best friends or anything like that. And now, if I'm the backup and I'm in the film room, I'm going to, be helpful. I'm going to be useful in that. But I'm trying to keep this starting job. I'm trying to be that guy. Brett Favre, same thing. When he knew his replacement was drafted, he's like, hey, that's Aaron Rodgers right there. But I'm not trying to hand him the keys to the car right now. I still got something left in the tank. But that's what makes those guys so special, right? That's what makes Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks is to have that chip on your shoulder constantly, to have that, the back of your mind, hey, someone could be pushing me out the door real quick. Same with Jimmy Garoppolo, as you mentioned, with Tom Brady out there, Jacoby Brissett, who ended up being the third string there. Like, he started to see the writing on the wall that maybe, they wanted to move on from him in the relationship with Belichick. There's a lot baked in there. But these guys are wired different, and you have to be wired different to play that position. And Brock, he might not be different, but Brock is such an aw shucks guy. I don't really have a good feel for him when it comes to that stuff yet.
I don't think he's aw shucks. I think he's got, insane, hyper-focused competitor in him.
I think there is part of that. I don't think he's a Tom Brady level psycho Tom, yelling at the sidelines to all these people.
To be where he's at and to do what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And what he did, I think you're underestimating his compete level.
I'm not underestimating his competition. I don't know the person Brock Purdy when it comes to the insecurities at the quarterback position.
I think he's cutthroat, and I think they all are. I think you have to be to be who he is. I don't think Jimmy G had that same cutthroat tenacity.
Maybe not. Maybe. But he did get into it with Kyle a lot. On the sideline, yes. He did snap at the head coach a lot. So there was some tension there.
That was more Jimmy tantrums after performance. I view them so different in terms of work ethic and dedication to the craft.
Okay, so we heard from Brian Ballman.
And leadership.
No, and again, 888-957-9570 is the number. Call or text the Boxer and Gerson Work Injury Attorneys text line. Should Brock play this week if he's practicing? And we're saying he's limited in practice. Should he play if he goes up to the coach, Kyle Shanahan, and said, hey, Coach, I'm good to go. The doctors have cleared me. Should Kyle play him? 888-957-9570.
Well, the last time that they let a guy go back out there with a lower body injury where he wasn't 100% right, was Jimmy G with the high ankle sprain. Again, he came out there against the Dolphins. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. Now it was a lower body quarterback.
Quarterback specific, yes.
Now, he also obviously hurt his shoulder. Jimmy G did. The year after that, quarterbacks take a pounding as the season goes on. So if you can have an opportunity to catch your breath for a couple of weeks and get some semblance of right, I would do that. And just allow, and I get it, like you don't want to give anyone any oxygen in the backup quarterback spot to get any momentum going. I understand that for your own peace of mind, but they've invested $150 million. 2 weeks of Mac Jones isn't going to sway them into playing him. Now, if it's 2 months, now we have a different conversation, but not 2 weeks. 2 weeks of good play isn't going to make them all of a sudden jump off the Brock train when they've been with him for years.
All right, so we heard from Baldy on the Turf Toe. Now let's hear from Lorenzo Neal, who you could see this Sunday, Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale with Evan Giddings, Joe. Every single 49ers home game. Be locked in down there. Got the shuttle, you got the brews, you got the eats, all happening every single 49ers home game at Laughing Monk in Sunnyvale. Low Neal on Brock's injury.
You have to deal with some level of pain, but the pain will subside, and you have to deal with some of it. And then adrenaline during the game, you're okay. So yes, I was able to deal with it. And then as the season goes on, if you don't get it jammed, if you don't get it fell on, but it's going to happen because the way that Brock plays, you can get through it. But I think if this is something, guys, depending on the severity of it, could last the whole year. It could last 7-8 weeks. And if he tapes it up, which he will, and buddy tape it and do the things that he will be able to do, he'll be able to get through practice. He'll be able to do some of the things limited. But I played a position that I knew I need to get down here. I need to push off on the toes, need to push off and be able to explode into individuals. But I didn't have to be as mobile at times as Brock because I was going straight ahead and just running a track and trying to block them guys. Brock has to cut. And when you think about when you plant your foot in the ground, guys, just think about just a regular Joe planting your foot in the ground. Think about when you push off. You're pushing off on your what? Your big toe.
So I guess the question I want to ask, and 49ers fans and you, Joe, 888-957-9570, what gives the 49ers a better chance at a win this Sunday? Is it 100% Mac Jones, talking about health? And again, no one's over 100%, but if he's not on the injury report, I'm just going to say 100% Mac Jones, or let's call it like an 80% Brock Purdy. What's a better, like, who gives the team a better chance to win on Sunday is the ultimate question. And if it's a healthier Mac Jones, then you stick with Mac Jones, right? It's pretty simple.
It's going to see, it feels like when you ask that question, which is a fair point to bring up, like if you say Mac Jones at 100%, it's like a knock on Purdy. To me, it's not. I just look at, like, some guys can play compromised. You know, we were talking about Kawhi Leonard in the first couple hours. Like, even though he can't jump as high, can't, cut as quick, he's still extremely effective when he's compromised. I watched him on one leg beat the Warriors and win a championship. Some guys can play hurt. Steve Young had a really tough time playing hurt. Steve Young was awesome. But when his ribs were cracked, he was useless. And, yeah, in that scenario, a healthier Gerback was better than a compromised Steve Young for a time period. And then it ended up being the team wasn't good enough, and they would end up losing in the playoffs anyway. I don't know. I don't know if a compromised Brock is a good enough version to overcome a fully healthy Mac Jones right now, because the foot is the plant leg and throwing. Is his arm a strength of his? Not really. Accuracy is, and fundamental footwork for Brock is a hang a hat on type of a skill. And so what is he like if he can't step into his throws? What is he like if he can't climb in the pocket and create a new platform and throw? I don't know if he's as effective. I don't think that's a knock on Brock. I just think that, like, his kind of skill set, he's like Lamar is not the same quarterback if his ankle's rolled and he can't move around. I think the same could be said for Josh Allen. Now, Josh, I still think could stand in the pocket and throw a little better, but he's a different version compromised.
He is. And listen, there's no shame in saying you don't have the upper body or torque and arm strength as a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Those guys are unicorns.
Yes.
Like, the fact that they could do that with compromised lower body injuries, it just makes them one of one. It doesn't say anything about you, Brock Purdy, but let's also keep it a buck. Brock doesn't have the strongest arm when it comes compared to those guys. So if you're losing any of that, as you're alluding to right there, That's, again, we're talking about the difference between a sack and, extending a play with his legs. Well, that's also the difference between throwing a pick and not throwing a pick if you can't drive into those balls.
Forget the interceptions. It's also protecting yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, we see how violent the game is. Even fully healthy, you can get rolled up in that pocket. And so if you can't move around well enough to be able to protect yourself, that's a problem.
It's a major problem.
I thought that was the biggest issue with Jimmy when he rolled his ankle and he came back on the high ankle sprain. He couldn't move. And he couldn't protect himself. And then he got the first shoulder injury, which wasn't as severe as the one he got the year prior.
888-957-9570. It's your chance to weigh in, Niner fans. We got Jennifer Lee Chan joining us in the next hour around 8:10. Covers the Niners, NBC Sports Bay Area. Get the lay of the land and how she feels and is thinking about Brock Purdy potentially starting this week. Are you taking a compromised Brock this Sunday over a fully healthy Mac Jones, Niner fans? 888-957-9570.
Look, I want him to stay out to the Rams game. And the reason why I want him to stay out to the Rams game is not about anything other than if he plays in the Jags game and then has to turn around 3 days later and play in the Rams game, I think that's tough. It's like once you open that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to play, he's the starter moving forward, right? Like you're going back to him, you're not looking back. And so I worry that you play him and then something happens, and he can't get fully healthy back again in time. Then you go back to Mac, and that can get tricky.
Well,
yo-yoing quarterbacks.
What I don't want to hear on Monday, Joe, is if Brock Purdy comes back and he struggles mightily and it's clearly an issue. I don't want to. That's not an excuse for me. I'm not doing that because he signed off it and the coaching staff signed off on it, and that's not good enough. When you had a fully healthy Mac Jones who looked pretty freaking competent the week prior.
Well, it would be even a bigger bummer if you had to put him back on the shelf, right? Like, let's say Monday comes around, he don't look great, and you're sitting here and you're like, actually, yeah, playing him compromised wasn't smart. He re-aggravated something, or he's just not performing up to what you're expecting.
That'd be a horrible look.
I know.
That'd be a horrible look, first and foremost, for the head coach. Again, we could just go through the injury history at quarterback. It has not been pretty for the 49ers under Kyle Shanahan. Now, is that Shanahan's fault? Is it the organization? People want to go to the training staff? Is it just being unlucky with the players? We keep talking about the injury bug here early on for the 49ers and fighting through adversity. There is, situations where you can point at the organization that failed a player. Like,
RG3 is probably the most prominent.
Thank you. That was exactly where I was going.
Shanahan and his dad had a big hand in that.
His father, Mike, being the head coach at the time.
I mean, Alex Smith in this market hurt his shoulder, got basically belly flopped on, and then him and Mike Nolan argued over whether he was healthy or not. They rushed Alex Smith back. He couldn't throw. It destroyed his arm.
And his confidence in the process.
Well, his arm was never the same.
No.
Not that it was great to begin with, but it was better early in his career, and it never was the same. And it ended up really ruining him. I truly believe Jimmy Garoppolo, the high ankle sprain, trying to play through it, he was never the same after that.
925 on the Boxer and Gerson work injury attorney.
His whole body fell apart after that.
I think this is a chess move by Shanahan, trying to confuse the Cardinals this week, similar to CMC the Thursday before the Seahawks game. So, do you guys think that's a smoke screen by Shanny to do this?
I don't think Shanny does. Do we think he's really like, hey, let's get sadistic and let's throw in like Brock? I think this is at face value.
No, you don't throw out your quarterback who's hurt if he was seriously that hurt to practice. That just ruins the quarterback's injury already. So I do not believe this is a smoke screen at all.
I think we overestimate gamesmanship.
I think we overestimate like conspiracy theories when it comes to into gamesmanship and all of that.
I just think we overthink it.
I think talking about overthinking, I do think we're overthinking the whole Tom Brady and the booth thing too a lot when it comes to him talking. It's jumped the shark. As I was off yesterday, and the amount of Tom Brady drama that was around the league, him talking to coaches, Ben Johnson, the head coach of the Bears, he's like, I'm not going to give him like the trade secrets. I'm not giving him the keys to the nuclear reactor of our offense.
No, I just think
Let's all relax.
I think it's just a conflict of interest in general.
It's fine, and I think it is Tom Brady, so everyone's looking like, oh, Tom's above the league, and like he gets special treatment, and you know what? Maybe he does. Some people get special treatment and some people don't in society.
Could you imagine Al Guido like on the broadcast, and then he's like sitting in the booth? Like it would be kind of ridiculous.
It would be, but if Niner fans had Tom Brady as a minority owner and he was like in the booth, and like Niner fans would be like, oh, you know what? Maybe Tom knows his stuff. You know what? Maybe Tom should be calling the plays. There would be something that would make this a little bit more juicy of a season for sure. Speaking of juicy,
would Tom be a better owner than Michael Jordan?
Remains to be seen. I mean, he did put his boy John Spytek in at GM. This draft, Ashton Genty's not looking good through 2 weeks. Just going to say it.
That's a pretty low bar, though.
It is very low. And he was the majority owner, so there is difference there.
I just felt like Michael, it was just like a thing. It wasn't like something that he ran. Like, I think if Tom were to own a team, he would run it. Like, he would run it top to bottom. He would be micromanaging everything.
I think the more apt comparison is going to be because Tom loves being in the spotlight more than Jordan did post-career. Jordan, you see him at NASCAR events, and that's really about it, or in the box.
And that stupid hat that he's obsessed with wearing.
Was it the Kangol hat?
It's not even a Kango. It's some sort of I don't even know. It's I think of guerrilla warfare when you wear that hat.
No one loves camouflage pants and shorts more than Michael Jordan for some reason. He loves that
He's a
look.
No Limit Soldier.
But you know what? If you're Michael Jordan, you can pull off whatever you want. Same with Tom Brady, the guy who sponsored by Uggs, and he made Uggs cool for men. So there you go. Speaking of Uggs, I think Carter's wearing some right now. No one loves Uggs more at the station than Carter. What's going on here? Mac Jones potentially playing in week 3. Mark Schlereth, who joins Willard and Dibs. Is that every week or every other week? Stink. But he's a Fox Sports analyst. He obviously calls games for him, knows his stuff, played at a high level, won Super Bowls, played for his dad, actually, Mike Shanahan back in Denver. So he knows the Shanahans very well. Here's Schlereth on Willard and Dibs talking about Mac Jones in week 2.
I thought he was good, man. I thought, it made me think, is that who Kyle really wanted when you guys drafted Trey Lance? There was that controversy, that talk about how the organization was split over Trey Lance and Mac Jones. I don't know. But Mac Jones, I thought played exceptionally well. Took a couple of sacks and all that stuff, but had a couple of scrambles. But he made some big time throws and he orchestrated the offense, which was really cool to see, especially after the way he started his rookie year in New England. And then Bill Belichick, who, it just all of a sudden became smarter than everybody else, decided that the best idea for a young quarterback is to have Joe Judge, a special teams coach, and Matt Patricia, our defensive coordinator, be co-coordinators on the offensive side of the ball. That's what's going to help him play. So, I saw it a couple of years ago when Sam Darnold went there and kind of resurrected his career. And this will be really cool if Mac Jones, can bail out Brock Purdy for a couple of weeks while he's healing up on that toe injury and play exceptionally well. This is a really good thing for Mac Jones, so I'm happy for him.
Can I say something real quick on the Sam Darnold resurrecting his career here? He didn't do anything as the backup for the 49ers.
He lost to Carson Wentz week 18 when no one played. Remember that?
Kevin O'Connell resurrected his career, not Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. Why are we giving credit there?
And JJ got hurt.
Yes, JJ got hurt, and they went down and they immediately pivoted to Sam Darnold. I am not giving Shanahan and the 49ers credit for rehabilitating the image of Sam Darnold. He didn't do anything here. Let's full stop right there.
When I saw him check down that pass in training camp.
When I saw him fumble that ball in a meaningless game against the Rams at the end of the season.
He took a safety, I believe, in that game.
When I saw him hold that clipboard.
Sam, I love you so much. But it's true. Let's stop there.
That was there was a time when Ryan Mallett and all Brian Hoyer, all these guys would hold the clipboard standing next to McDaniels and Brady.
Yeah. Rest in
and
peace,
those
Ryan
guys
Mallett.
got opportunities.
Damn. That was a sad story, Ryan Mallett. Rest in peace. I thought he was going to be something at Arkansas. I feel like that's the last good Arkansas quarterback that played there. Right? I can't even think of another one since then. Razorbacks, baby. Yeah. See?
Well, there was the wide receiver quarterback turned wide receiver, the white boy. Is it Matt Jones? The Jaguars drafted. But I think he was before Mallett.
Oh, Tyler Wilson. I think he was a Raiders pick back in the day. Tyler Wilson was one, 2013. Look that up.
McFadden.
Yeah, dude.
That team was so much fun.
Talk about guys who would always tantalize us with talent. You know who's the quarterback version of Darren McFadden? Kyler Murray.
Oh.
That is exactly to a T who that reminds me of. Kyler Murray, by the way. You see, can we talk about the picture? What the hell are you doing, Kyler? Just with a Michael Vick jersey. Kyler Murray, and he apologized since about the picture. He posted a picture on his social media, him wearing a Michael Vick jersey. I believe it was Virginia Tech Michael Vick away jersey with a pit bull. And it could have been his pit bull. I don't give it. What are you doing, bro?
It's just horrific optics.
And listen, Mike's done a lot to try to rehabilitate. He served time. I root for Michael Vick. I know a lot of people will never forgive him what he did. The guy served his time. He's been a model citizen since there. but just show some class and grace. And
who's his agent? Who's Kyler's agent?
Whoever runs Call of Duty.
No.
Activision, I don't know.
No, but let's just play this out. Like, you get a phone call, you pick it up, like, hey, what's up? Did you see what Kyler just posted on social media? No, I didn't. I've been in a meeting all day. He just posted a photo of himself in a Michael Vick jersey next to a pit bull. No, you're kidding me.
Not a Doberman, not a German Shepherd, not a Chihuahua, not a Shih Tzu, a pit bull. Just, honestly, it would have hit different if it was a Chihuahua, maybe. It probably would have. It would have been, relax.
My favorite is on game day, and we always forget about these come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But on game day, when Kyler comes walking into the stadium, and they'll be like, Kyler's here, QB1, and like, they're walking in, kind of like how TNT, when you see like the players walking through the tunnel, and he's got these giant jean shorts on, and they're like, when you're on your way to kindergarten. And it's just, some of these like captions are absolutely hilarious.
Speaking of kindergarten, this is a good time. Benny's in kindergarten class, which starts in about 30 minutes. Hope he's up enjoying his breakfast. Happy birthday to my son, Benjamin Spadoni, 6 years old today. I love you so much, buddy. You're crushing it. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to go over later, bring him his present, and 6 years old. He has his birthday party on Saturday at the park. It'll be a lot of fun. So shout out Benjamin Spadoni, the legacy, if you will. All right. Oh, here's the apology. People are wondering the apology that Kyler Murray had about the picture. In no way, shape, or form do I condone animal cruelty or dogfighting, whatever it is, Murray told reporters on Thursday. For me personally, y'all saw me wear the Michael Vick jersey, a player I admired very much growing up, and then being home with my pups, my dog Trunks and Swoosh. They both get treated like kings, so in no way, shape, or form am I condoning that. But yes, I saw how it affected people, and I decided to take it down. I apologize to anybody and whoever I affected.
And that wasn't even like, there were other things that were done by players this week. The Kansas City Chiefs were wearing free Rashee Rice shirts. Rashee Rice was clearly intoxicated. That's why he fled the scene. And injured kids in a car. And the Chiefs are wearing like free Rashee Rice shirts. Guys, he is so lucky someone didn't get hurt. Seriously injured. I mean, and killed in that. There's one thing that like I do not tolerate is any inebriated driving. Like in this day and age with Ubers and Lyfts and all the different ways that you can get around, and especially for an NFL player who has the access to be able to call with one of the hotlines and get a ride at any time, any place. This guy was doing like a hundo in whatever it was, a Ferrari, a Phantom, whatever, and got in a huge, huge accident and just fled the scene. And you guys are saying like, we got to free this guy. No. Like, he has to serve his punishment. He's lucky it wasn't worse. Maybe, like, let's reflect a little and be thankful that no one got injured. Like, severely injured and killed.
Considering what happened a few years ago with Henry Ruggs.
It was disgusting.
And you know, like...
I'm not Ruggs thing. I'm talking... but I'm saying the Chiefs, like, read the room.
We're never going to learn our lesson as a society. And these athletes, and, you know, this is a guy that legitimately is going to have to follow through with a 30-day jail sentence. This guy's going to prison for that. Like, no, he's legitimately, he's going to prison for 30 days.
Do you get?
And they're just, it's honestly, when you make a shirt out of it, you are making fun of it. And it's not something to be laughed at.
Do you guys remember the Pouncey brothers wearing the free Aaron Hernandez shirts?
Those two.
Well,
those three, that team. In front of my house, Father's Day morning.
I don't remember that, but now I do, now that you talked about it.
In front of my house, Father's Day morning, I come out and my truck got totaled, okay, in front of my house. Well, the Tesla in front of where my car was parked had like 5 different angles of this car crushing and demolishing and destroying my truck. And in the Tesla, they saved like the video footage of the accident. The person was swerving, hit my car, lost their wheel, kept driving, and then came back around, grabbed the wheel, and like they were clearly hammered, all right, off something.
That guy can drink like a fish.
But here's the scariest part about it. The girls who own the Tesla, and I called them girls, they were like, I don't know, 19, 20, 21, whatever. 4 minutes after the accident, showed up in a taxi right where the accident was, and were getting out of the car, had no idea. They looked down, they saw the wheel, and all I kept thinking was, thank God no one got injured. Thank God no one got hurt. Now, this dummy who destroyed my car, like, it sucked for me, and like, that's a big inconvenience, and I had to deal with insurance and all that. But, like, the bigger thing is, like, thank God no one was killed.
Right.
And like, these car accidents, the NFL, when I saw the Chiefs doing that, and I know Travis Kelce, everybody loves him, and, the whole Taylor Swift thing, like, Travis, come on, man. Free Rashee Rice.
Tough luck.
Maybe we sit this one out, Chiefs.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of people and teams and players and personalities that need to take a playoff. But you know what doesn't take a playoff, Carter? The injury report. Always nice to get caught up in the NFL storylines. Michael Vick, Pit Bulls, Rashee Rice, free him. This is just great stuff. I'm just trying to talk about Brock Purdy's toe. And speaking of it, there is hope for Brock Purdy. The 49ers quarterback's turf toe variant has improved enough to where Kyle Shanahan left open the possibility that Brock could be available to play this Sunday against the Cardinals. Brock did participate in practice yesterday and was limited. As of now, though, Mac Jones is still slated to start on Sunday, but that might change. Who knows? The Injury Report was brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. And what's coming up with the game is brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good. Jennifer Lee Chan coming up in about, 15 minutes, courtesy of River Islands, and she covers the 49ers for NBC Sports Bay Area. So JLC, Jennifer Lee Chan, joining us to get the lay of the land. The realistic possibility that Brock could start this Sunday is what? We'll get into that. And the question I have for the fans and for the people at 888-957-9570, call or text, what gives the 49ers a better opportunity to win on Sunday? A healthy Mac Jones or a slightly compromised Brock Purdy? On 95.7 The Game.
One of the greatest bands in rock history, The Who, present The Song Is Over, the North American Farewell Tour. See Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, The Who, live in the Bay Area, performing at Shoreline Amphitheater September 21st. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The Who, for the very last time. The song is over. For more, visit thewho.com.
Joe Shasky here for Ceremony Ford, and let me keep it real with you. If you've been thinking about making the switch to an electric ride, now's the time. And you can pull the trigger because Ceremony Ford in Colma is ending this summer with some heat. So check this out. Slide into a brand new 2025 Mustang Mach-E for just $225 a month on a lease. That's right, $225 a month for 36 months. Or if you're ready to buy, you can lock in 0% APR financing for 72 months and grab a $2,000 rebate. Who else is giving you that? Only Ford. But here's the kicker. The federal EV tax credit on the Mach-E and the F1 Lightning, they're about to expire on September 30th. You wait, you lose. Don't let Uncle Sam keep your money. Ceremony Ford has one of the biggest inventories in Northern California, and they're ready to hook you up. Find them right off at 280 in Colma or online 24/7 at ceremonyford.com. That's Ceremony Ford, the Bay Area's Mach-E Superstore. Tell them Joe Shasky, Butcher, sent you.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked!
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Come into Freeman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill, September 26th through the 28th for their fall clearance sales event. Take advantage of factory direct prices, one-of-a-kind opportunities, special pricing on floor models, and convenient financing. Save on new appliances from trusted brands like Miele, Bosch, Electrolux, LG, and Maytag. Visit Freeman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill for their fall clearance sales event September 26th through the 28th for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Huge savings on Dell AI PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors are here, and they're newly designed to help you do more faster. They can generate code, edit images, multitask without lag, draft emails, summarize documents, create live translations, and even extend your battery life. That's the power of Dell AI with Intel inside. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hey, football fans, it's Brian Baldinger here with It's Your Journey, presented by Hyundai. We have another great matchup in Week 3 as Detroit goes to Baltimore in what will be another great matchup. Both teams have aspirations of making it deep into the playoffs, but the journey begins here. Both teams have solid defenses, but which quarterback will be able to overcome and lead their team to a win? It's Your Journey is brought to you by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on now. Get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Don't miss out. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No! Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM and HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station and the home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries. Always live on the free Odyssey app and now coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios.
Rise.
It's time to wake on up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. With a nice cup of Joe.
What's up, Joe, bro?
Featuring Joe Spadoni.
He's an Italian.
And Joe, the Butcher Boy Shasky.
I am slippery.
Oh!
The best part of waking up is morning roast in your cup.
It is the Morning Roast, man, on 95.7 The Game.
And we are halfway home here on a thirsty Thursday here in the Bay. It's a beautiful day. It's been just absolutely gorgeous. As I say, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Joe Spadoni alongside Joe Shasky here with you. We've been talking about it all today, and we're going to be joined by Jennifer Lee Chan here, 49ers insider for NBC Sports Bay Area, shortly to talk the lay of the land about the 49ers. Could Brock Purdy really play this Sunday? Home opener for the San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium hosting the Arizona Cardinals. We shall see. So we'll talk to JLC in about 7 minutes here. We're also reacting to a very tough and emotional Golden State Valkyries loss to the Minnesota Lynx. So their season has officially come to an end. But you know what? First expansion team ever to make the playoffs in the WNBA. Check. Most wins ever by an expansion team. Check. Got your first time All-Star, Kayla Thornton. Check. Most improved player, Veronica Burton, check. And then the coach of the year, Natalie Nakase. Those are 5 green checks right there. And a hell of a season for the Golden State Valkyries, and they should be very proud of themselves. I really enjoyed that they took a moment yesterday as the game was over to cheer the crowd, which has been on fire for them all season long. And again, if you were at the game, if you attended any game, you want to talk Valkyries at any point, I will take that call. 888-957-9570 is the number, as they fall again to the number 1 overall seeded Minnesota Lynx, who erased a double-digit deficit heading into the fourth quarter. It was a tough one. But more importantly, what do they say? Good teams win, but great teams cover. And the Valkyries did cover the spread yesterday. 10 points? God, I wish I had known that. I would have taken that in a heartbeat. A tough loss there, but we are so damn proud of the Valks here, Joey. Good morning, bud.
Good morning. Let me ask you a hypothetical.
Hypotheticals.
2019 NFL Draft. Arizona had the number 1 pick. Niners had the number 2 pick. Kyler Murray got taken number 1. Nick Bosa went number 2. Just a fun hypothetical.
Lucky us.
How does it play out, even though they had Jimmy G? Let's just, again, hypothetical. How does it play out if Bosa's on Arizona and Kyler's on the Niners? Suspend the reality of Jimmy on the team. Just have some fun with me.
I'm going to say something here that might be controversial. I'm going to say something that people are going to get their feathers ruffled. I think the 49ers have a Super Bowl if they had drafted Kyler Murray instead, if they had the opportunity to. I really
I'm going to let you explain that because I don't agree with it, but you go.
This is a guy that's been a 2-time Pro Bowler who has played with a dumpster fire of an organization. His 2 coaches, one was Cliff Kingsbury, who, he was fine for a little bit. He was a nice cup of coffee, flamed out very quickly. He's had Jonathan Gannon, a defensive coordinator, as his head coach down the last few seasons. He has never really had a stable organization / structure to be a part of. He would have had that with Kyle Shanahan. He would have been put in a position to succeed early on in his career. And I do think with his skill set, with that arm, with his mobility, Shasky, he could have made some sweet love with Kyle Shanahan in this 49ers offense. I really believe that. So much so that he would have had stability at a position that's been pretty unstable for Kyle Shanahan in his tenure as head coach. He would have brought stability to it very early on. He would have been given the leeway. Again, this is all predicated on health because that matters. And the only reason that Trey Lance really didn't stick around too much is because of health. Same with Jimmy Garoppolo.
So you think the Niners...
I really believe his skill set would have translated beautifully to this 49ers offense. I believe that, yes.
Okay. That might be true, but teams win championships.
They do.
Where was the pass rush coming from if you don't have Nick Bosa?
It's a great question. It's a great counter.
So do you believe... Okay, because I don't want to parse this too deep, but do you believe Kyler is better than any of the quarterbacks that they've had over the last couple of years, or would have been better than any of? So you think he'd be better than Brock Purdy?
He would have been in this 49ers offense. I think if you put Kyler Murray in it now, I don't think you'd see a significant drop off at quarterback play. In fact, it might be pretty similar, or Kyler might flourish a little bit more in this system.
Well, which one is it?
I'm kind of leaning to he might flourish a little bit more in this system.
Okay.
He's got a strong.
How you feel is how you feel.
He's got a stronger arm than Brock Purdy. He has a better deep ball.
Is he a better decision maker? Does he study the playbook more? Does he throw with anticipation? Does he lead teammates? Does he stay healthy?
These are all fair questions.
Does he protect his body? Does he have good pocket feel?
I think he does, but also I put that a lot in the organizational structure in Arizona that has failed him more than Kyler Murray has failed them.
He's a talent, we would agree. There's no doubt teams and franchises win, and the ones that are great and well-run sustain it, and Arizona's not one of those situations. It's not. I just think that what Nick Bosa has provided on defense was so needed. Cassius Marsh was their best defensive lineman, in the year prior, on the edges, before they made the deal for D Ford and then drafted Nick Bosa. They needed that defensive line so bad. I don't know if they would play complimentary football, and I don't think that they're like Kyler Murray, play X away from winning the Super Bowl. Because, again, they've lost all these Super Bowls, these NFC Championship games, a handful of ways, not just because of, a quarterback play here and there. And I don't know if he's better than Purdy. I don't know. Do I think Purdy would be lesser than if he was in Arizona, and Kyler would be better than if he was in a 49er uniform? Yeah, I think he'd be better than what he's shown in Arizona. But he's still really small. He still plays reckless. I don't know if he dedicates himself to the game that Kyle would want. I think he would drive Kyle crazy aborting from plays. I think he creates problems because he's even smaller than Brock in terms of being a pocket thrower. I don't think he throws with great anticipation. I don't know. I think they'd be better off with Bosa and with the route that they've gone.
I believe in his tenure and career, and there's a minimum on this, and he's been in the league since 2019, but I think he has like the 4th highest completion percentage in NFL history with like a minimum of 1,500 completions. His career is 67%. So he's very accurate as a quarterback, Joe. The proof, he's 67% completion percentage. He's thrown for nearly 20,000 yards, 118 touchdowns, 58 interceptions. He's had a pretty good career. Now,
I agree.
Has he lived up to being the number 1 overall pick? It's a different conversation. I think it's very hard to live up to that being an Arizona Cardinal. I mean, their high watermark for quarterback play is like a 40-year-old Kurt Warner, who, again, he's a Hall of Famer, though. Like that. I think he's
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer, but I think Kyler Murray's been a better quarterback overall in his career than Carson Palmer. Now, Carson Palmer did take the team to the NFC
good.
Championship.
Yeah,
he
Bruce
was until he
Arians.
wasn't. He flamed. That game was awful. He was horrible in that game when push came to shove. But it's an interesting conversation. I wonder where Niner fans are on that at 888-957-9570.
Like Kyler falls, the team as well, fall apart in the second half. There's a Zion-like quality about him where I don't think he's a unbelievably winning player, but in terms of watchability on my couch, I love watching him. But I don't think he's of the top 7 ilk. I just don't. I don't think he's of that cut of that cloth.
So he came into the league, obviously, 2019, the same year that the 49ers reached the Super Bowl, the first one with Kyle Shanahan. I'm just going to go to Jimmy Garoppolo's stats here. 2019. All right. So he had 3,900 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 picks. Had a 69% completion percentage. Jimmy was really, again, we forget, Jimmy had a really good year that first Super Bowl run. Yeah. It was incredible.
Unbelievable.
Rookie season for Kyler. 3,700 yards in the air, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks. All right.
That's kind of what Brock did last year.
Kind of what Brock did last year. 64% completion percentage, so not as good. But again, that was his rookie season. He ended up winning the Rookie of the Year offensively. I thought I should have gone to Josh Jacobs, but that's neither here nor there. The quarterback gets special treatment. We all understand that. But he did win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. So it is funny that the Offensive Rookie of the Year was the number 1 overall pick. And who was the Defensive Rookie of the Year that season? It's the number 2 overall pick.
Bosa.
So it is, which one, your cup of coffee at that point. Now, Nick Bosa, better at his position, obviously, DPOY, than Kyler Murray has been in his craft. But I'll say this. The way we talk about Brock Purdy is very similar to how we discuss Kyler Murray, in that he's not quite a top 10 quarterback. Sometimes he plays like it, but he's in that 10 to 15 range on any given Sunday. And you could do a lot worse than a guy like that. And I do think their skill sets are very similar. And Big Boss Man was talking to me off air. He's like, just compare the quarterbacks. How big of a drop-off would it be if you switched the quarterbacks, if it was Brock starting this week on these offenses?
Well, I know right off the rip, like Kyler has very few December, January moments. Like winning in December and in January is different. It just is. There's a whole element of like, you got to get to the playoffs physically. And Kyler has, for a variety of reasons, struggled with that. He just has.
And he has had a major injury. He did tear his ACL one year. That has happened.
It just feels like him and that team have worn down come mid-November.
He had a pretty good year last year. 68% completion percentage, nearly 69, 3,800 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 picks. But there is an element, as you talked about it, and we're going to be joined by Jennifer Lee Chan here momentarily, 49ers insider for NBC Sports Bay Area, to see if Brock Purdy will actually start this Sunday potentially. But, the Sports Center type of highlights that, the Zion Williamsons, the Ja Morants, all these big-time guys that seem to get hurt all the time, there is a quality like that with Kyler Murray. And Mark Schlereth actually talked about that with Willard Dibs.
It is one of those situations for Kyler where what wins in the National Football League is not Sports Center highlights. Sports Center highlights are Sports Center highlights. They're awesome. They're fun to watch. But you know what ultimately happens with Sports Center highlights? That team that makes a bunch of them loses, usually. So what wins at the quarterback position is your default mechanism being the neck up. What wins is boring. Like, I had a conversation with Byron Leftwich when he was Tom Brady's offensive coordinator in Tampa. And I said, what is it that blows you away about him? And he goes, if we're running curl flat, and the flat is open, and it's the first read the progression, Tom Brady takes it 100 out of 100 times and makes it 2nd down and 5. And then the whole playbook is open. And unfortunately, with guys who have always been able to rely on athleticism, oftentimes their default mechanism is athleticism. And so they go, oh, wait a minute, let me get out of here. Let me scramble around. Let me make a big play. And hey, listen, you'll make one or two in the game and they'll be Sports Center highlights, but you'll make 3 or 4 big mistakes that will cost you a victory.
I will also argue, I think with the lack of talent around Kyler, he would have been able to succeed more in a Shanahan offense if given the opportunity. Because, as we've mentioned, you don't have to be this big-name wide receiver to flourish, to have success here. Juwan Jennings was the number 1 receiver last year. I get it, a lost year, but he wasn't this big name. We'll see with Ricky Pearsall. He was a first-round talent. He was picked in the first round, and he's looking pretty freaking good these first couple weeks. It's just an interesting conversation to have, and I appreciate you saying it. And I didn't even bring up his rushing stats, Joe, which have been pretty freaking good since he's been in the league.
No, he's been amazing. But I also think, when we're talking about Kyler and Bosa, Bosa's a Hall of Fame level player.
He is.
He's better than Kyler by a long shot.
He is, but the way that it is different is the significance of the quarterback position. It feels like, not that it's the reason they haven't won, but at times it feels like we just have been missing the big play in the Super Bowl, whether that's the quarterback or not.
Yeah, I just don't think they're getting there.
Maybe not. You know where we're getting there right now? With Jennifer Lee Chan. She's on the River Islands guest line right now. As all guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line, isn't it time for you to discover the islands, River Islands in Lathrop? Jennifer Lee Chan, 49ers insider for NBC Sports Bay Area, joins us now. Spadoni and Shasky, the Morning Roast. And Jennifer, we'll just bring you into the conversation we're just having right now. Once upon a time, 2019, Kyler Murray drafted number 1 overall, and Nick Bosa obviously being drafted right after him. Take us back to 2019. Was there any possibility, had the Cardinals not taken Kyler Murray, that the 49ers would have been interested in him?
I don't think so. I mean, the story the whole time that draft was going on from the combine on was that they were going to take a defensive end, and there were 3 that they really had their eyes on, and then Nick Bosa was the one who was there, and they took him, and they've been really happy with how he's been. So, yeah, I don't think there was any chance at all. I think it was always a defensive end no matter what. And, Nick Bosa's become a guy who has been a guy that they built the defense around. So him and Fred Warner, I mean, I think those 2 are the keys to the defense. And yesterday, Nick Bosa told me, he's like, Kyle looks really good. He looks like he's moving better than he has before. So it's definitely going to be a challenge on Sunday.
So the internet went kind of crazy yesterday. Purdy at practice, and then, people are asking Kyle Shanahan about maybe his availability as an emergency backup quarterback. And he's like, possibly. And it just seemed very non-committal when you heard the full entire video. What was your feel yesterday regarding just Brock Purdy returning to practice and Kyle being asked about could he play on Sunday?
I mean, I think that's typical Kyle. He's very kind of elusive when it comes to information about players and whether they're going to return or not. I mean, it's always better if the opposing defense has to prepare for more than one person. So I would think that, Brock Purdy, if he makes his way back this week, he will play. But he wasn't taking the first reps with the offense. Excuse me. It was Mac Jones and then Adrian Martinez and then Brock Purdy. So he was doing those step backs into throws, but when it was working and warming up with the running backs, there's a rollout that they do and then they hand it off. He didn't do that. So it's just a question, probably pain tolerance, mobility with that toe, and how well he's able to progress through the week, whether he starts or not.
That's pretty interesting. How is he walking? I mean, he didn't do any of the rollout stuff. That's okay. That makes sense. How was he walking when he wasn't in the drills? Did you notice a limp or anything like that? I'm just curious.
Nope, he looked normal. Like when he did the drop backs, he looked normal. He just didn't do the rollouts. So walking, a little bit of jog, looks exactly like he normally does. So he wasn't limping at all, wasn't favoring that foot. But I think they're just being careful with those rollouts. It can be extra pressure on the toe. You don't want to re-injure or make it worse. So they don't want him to have any setbacks, so they're being careful.
And the zip was there in terms of, the velocity and the arc and all that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we only get to see the first 3 periods. So, he's warming up, throws to trainers, then he warms up, throws to running backs, and then they go throws to wide receivers and tight ends. And it looks the same. I mean, but, it's not a full drill. It's just, kind of drop backs, stop, and throw. So it's not like on the run. That's, what Brock Purdy's strength is. He can roll out, be on the run, scrambling, and still make those passes to wide receivers. That's his kind of superpower. And we didn't see that in practice because we didn't get, we don't get to at this point.
Talking to Jennifer Lee Chan here on the Morning Roast 49ers Insider for NBC Sports Bay Area. So, Jennifer, brass tacks, would you be shocked if Brock Purdy was starting for the 49ers this Sunday?
I wouldn't be shocked, no, because Brock is just one of those guys. I mean, watching him yesterday, he didn't do the rollout, but he was kind of doing it light on air. And my favorite story about Brock Purdy is back in high school, he contracted mono, and they wouldn't let him practice because he lost a ton of weight. But he did everything on air. So he is one of those guys who is thoroughly prepared, even if he's not in practice. He's just one of those guys that is a worker. And so even if he can't do the reps with his teammates, he's going to do it on air just to be in like motion, in practice, body memory. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and looks like he did in week 1.
How does this team look different with Mac Jones under center, whether it be personality-wise, play design-wise, feel, aura? Like, you know, the team can take on the starting quarterback's persona, good or bad. So have you noticed a difference?
I mean, I think they all love Mac Jones. That was the one thing that surprised me when we found out that he was going to start, asking guys in the locker room what Mac Jones is like, what he brings to the team. And they're like, oh, we love Mac Jones. I mean, everybody had a huge smile. And I don't think the team personality changes at all, but I definitely think there's a solid confidence in what he can do. So what I was surprised with is that Kyle Shanahan dialed up 3 passes. Mac Jones' first drive. I mean, they went 3 and out, but it was kind of to get the jitters out, I think, for Mac Jones. Because normally, I mean, even when Brock Purdy's out there, they start with definitely a heavy McCaffrey schedule. And they didn't do that with Mac Jones, and that was what surprised me. But generally, the game plan seemed the same. They didn't have to alter anything. They didn't have to limit the types of plays that they did. I think part of that is because he just recently had reps with the 1s and the 2s during training camp, so he knows how to run the offense. He's not just out there running the scout team.
Jennifer, well, why do they love Mac Jones so much? What is it about this? Like, who is Mac Jones? Because we all remember Alabama. We remember the cigar picture with his
kind of goofy,
but
he is serious.
Yeah, like he's got some swag though too. Like, who is Mac Jones?
He's a guy that they love. He is kind of goofy, and he's also a guy that isn't afraid to kind of embarrass himself. I mean, he doesn't mind being goofy, and he was at the front of that boombox entrance, and it was him. Normally it's Trent Williams. It used to be Deebo Samuel. Now it's De'Amon Lenore, Jair Brown, but Kendrick Bourne is added to the mix now. Kendrick Bourne and Mac Jones know each other from New England, so they were at the front of that kind of parade that comes out from the locker room, having fun. He doesn't mind, joking around, but they do say that when he's on the field, he does get serious and he can spin it. So I think part of it is his journey. When you're humbled and things don't work out necessarily the way you think they will, you kind of, reassess everything. And the way he's come out of this situation is that he, I think, is comfortable with himself and comfortable in the locker room, and they really just love him.
So huge quarterback controversy, right? And he wins this weekend, and then we just go crazy, right?
No, I don't think so. I think they're good with either guy, and I think you kind of see that with how the locker room acts. They love Brock. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever going to lose support for Brock, but if they need to have Mac Jones in there, they have total confidence in him. I think it's a unique situation to be in.
So let's play this out. I mean, you can't tell how hurt he is or what he's feeling like. And I guess today will be some indicator, if he's out there or not. But this week, let's say he misses it for whatever reason. Maybe he's suiting up as the emergency quarterback. I'm talking about Brock. And then you get the Jacksonville game. And then you got the Rams game immediately after that on a Thursday. If you had to put your money down right now, do you think he comes back Jacksonville? Do you think he comes back in the Rams game? Or do you think they wait until the Bucs game on the 12th?
I think he's back before that. I mean, I think they definitely need him for the Rams game. Jacksonville, yes. I mean, I think there's, thoughts about it. But Brock is a guy who is not going to sit out if he feels good enough to play. So he's a guy who rehabs as hard as he can. He studies as hard as he can. I just don't think you keep Brock off the field, or you can keep Brock off the field that long. I mean, if he's already back into practice, that means he's making his way back. So it wasn't, and again, not like Joe Burrow where you knew immediately that he was hurt. This didn't pop up until later. So, he felt fine, probably adrenaline throughout the game. And then it turned out later that he had a toe injury and a shoulder injury. Let's not forget that he has a shoulder issue as well. But the toe is obviously the more serious injury. But I think, because it came up on Monday's injury report, that it's not as serious as it could be, thankfully for the 49ers. But, he's a guy that is going to get back as soon as he can because that's who he is.
All right, so I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. I will go down rabbit holes on YouTube while playing video games on Friday nights when the whole family goes to bed. I was watching the Purdy videos, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of one of the videos, I see Brandon Ayuk. And he's sprinting, and he's running. Yeah. And I'm saying to myself, damn, he looks kind of good. Conspiracy theorist in you, when do you think Brandon Ayuk can come back and be ready?
I know he's on IR, so he has to miss at least 4 games, but I just don't think they put him out there on a Thursday night game without practice before.
Okay.
So, I think the earliest he comes back is week 6, because that week 5 game is a Thursday night game, and they really don't practice before that. They're not going to put him out there without a practice, right? So he can't go out there and just walk through and be effective in a Thursday night game. So I think the earliest he comes back is that week 6 game, just because of the way the schedule falls. Now, he does look good, and he was sprinting in front of us. We were all standing there with our